Good evening, and welcome to what's left of Oxford's Ashes, a modern-day Vampire the Masquerade chronicle set in the British city of Oxford. Already awakened tonight, is Rami of Clan Hakata, played by Space. Hatfield of Clan Bruja, played by Daybreakathon. Acheron of Clan Zamitzi, played by the remains of Larissa Rave. Slip of Clan Nosferatu, played by Vamp Daddy. And Ardala, played by Fenice Starlight. We begin where we left off last week. A strange man, with wrists slashed, has approached you. He said some very interesting things. He has returned and he brings revenge, before falling backwards and cracking his skull open on the pavement. Slip was able to clean up the body. You investigated further down the alleyway, where you were supposed to meet a Banu Hakim. And as you walk into the alleyway, at the far distance, the wall that blocks the other end of the alleyway off is a scene of carnage. Blood spatters against the dingy brickwork trickle their way down, mingling with pieces of viscera. A desiccated corpse dressed in a suit lays upon the ground. His clothes, although neat and expensive, seem to be strangely uneven around his chest. What would you all like to do?
Okay, so around his chest looks uneven. In terms of the sort of damage to this body, is any of it like centered around the chest, or is it just
Wits and awareness or intelligence and investigation, whichever you prefer.
Okay, we'll go for wits and awareness.
This is not a hard roll.
Okay.
And I'm very impressed at how quickly you've thrown yourself back into being Acheron.
The dice doesn't give a fuck about how I feel right now, so here we are.
Would you like to re-roll any of those?
You know what? In the spirit of today, no.
Oh shit! I will do a roll as well, by the way, because this is
Okay.
not okay.
Well, first of all, let's fuck up Acheron.
Amazing, let's do it.
Acheron, you look
Yes.
upon the remains of this body, and the beast inside of you starts to scream. What a worthless waste of Cain's gift. To be just discarded and thrown away so easily. The beast inside of you becomes obsessed with possessing something in this scene, desiring to add it to your proverbial hoard. This can be anything from an object to a piece of property to an actual person. Any action not taken towards this purpose incurs a 2-dice penalty. The compulsion persists until ownership is established or the object of desire becomes unattainable. You are suffering from the Zamitzi clan compulsion, covetousness. Ardala,
Yes,
you had something you wanted to do.
I do. Recognizing this body, I would like to look a little closer at it.
Wits and awareness or intelligence and investigation, whichever you prefer.
Acheron is going to be looking over Ardala's shoulder, but with the intent of finding something to possess from the body itself. Not saying anything, just peering over and looking as they are
like
doing their own
Fairy
search.
again.
Maybe. We'll see.
Ardala, you recognize almost instantly that this is Altair. This was who you were supposed to go out and meet. You know of him, at least by reputation, if not personally. The first thing you go to look at is the uneven chest. This is very unlike Altair. He was very well presented. You move the jacket to one side, and you see a stake embedded deep into the cavity.
I turn around. I know this kindred. This is
One
the
of yours.
first- Yes, it is. He was a great investigator. Very very respectful in his work. He wasn't one to be snuck upon, and the fact that he has been worries me.
Well, it seems to me he saw something he wasn't meant to see. However, before I actually do an action here, he looks as if he's in torpor or like true death, because he does have that stake
Definitely
in him. So
true death.
that is bizarre, though, right?
Final death.
Because the idea is if you get staked, you can be in torpor. You're not necessarily dead. So would Acheron sort of register that this is
I'll tell you what.
something that's off?
How would you feel if you don't have to do this because you've got a -2 penalty to this, but you could do a wits and awareness or an intelligence and investigation if you like.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what my intention is, and you tell me if I should still do the roll and if the -2 will apply. I want to take the stake.
Mm-hmm.
So the intent is to pull it out.
That's straight.
Okay, because Acheron, the intention is I'm going to pull this out and sort of explain it as he should still be alive if I pull this out.
Yep.
So would I still have to do the roll?
Nope.
Okay, wonderful. So yeah,
Just
so
pulling,
Acheron says...
you are literally just pulling a piece of wood out of the chest.
Yeah. So Acheron says, however, and leans forward and rips the stake out of his chest and is holding it in their hand, sort of flips it so that the pointy end is not facing outward. And when they don't rise, when they don't wake, will then say, that's strange. That doesn't normally happen. And will slide the stake into their bag.
Yep, that's most definitely going to satisfy the compulsion in my eyes.
It's got blood on it, yeah?
No.
No. Okay.
I'll tell you what. Very quickly, Acheron, do wits and awareness for me, please, without a penalty.
Okay.
And this is a very easy roll. Sorry to interrupt you, Ardala.
Good.
That's fine. Acheron, when you pull this stake out, the first thing that you notice is this stake is not located where the heart is. And it's also made... no, never mind. Not for 2 successes.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. We'll say to Ardala, that's very strange. Should have woken up. But even more importantly, this wasn't in their heart. Perhaps they were already dead. The staking is just a prop.
2 separate things. One, I want to, after kind of hearing that from Acheron, can I look over their body and see how they died? Is there a way that I can? Or is it... You can say no.
It's not that. I don't want to confuse you and make you do this roll and then give you the information that you're going to get, and that is the cause of death. But if you roll intelligence and investigation, you can most definitely get some information. But I don't want you to, I don't want you to chase your tail and be like, oh, this is how he died. That's
fine. And then the other question, which might kind of play into that, it was, can I tell if there was a third person here? Like tracks or something like that. That was a different question.
Oh, that would be like checking the environment, yeah.
Yeah, that was another question. I just want to get both of them out of the way so I can...
Intelligence and investigation if you want to see if there was someone else there.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
This is not common among your people, is it, Ardala?
No. Is there anything like odd or supernatural about this death? Like anything that could be related to the things that we've seen and encountered?
Hey, you could roll intelligence and occult, but it would be a very difficult roll. Wow, Rami.
I have dots in occult. If I help Ardala, would that maybe even the odds a little bit?
I have,
You
I
could
have
certainly
a good
give her a
pull
+1,
on
but
that,
it wouldn't
yeah.
lower the difficulty.
Okay.
Rami.
I'll give the +1 should they make the roll.
Rami,
I will.
as you look over the scene, you realize that this ghoul, this kine, it must be a ghoul to have survived this long and walked out. It couldn't have been done alone. A ghoul could not have done this. The fact that there is viscera and blood and all sorts over the walls, kindred don't leave that kind of thing. So, to basically answer the question, there was most definitely someone else here that fucking did this. A third party at the very least. My God.
I roused for extra stuff. I got 8 successes, thank you.
It's the most fun in a game. Give me my information that I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Ardala, I'm just going to give you a fucking bullet point list because you've annihilated this. This
you.
body has been sanguinated. That is not normal.
Okay.
8 successes. Fuck it. You are supernatural. You have superhuman senses and instincts. All you needed was that brief glimpse of that stake to realize that the material that is made from is not local to this part of the UK. You also caught sight of various runes upon it. Upon the remains of Voltaire's body, you find his journal. The book is filled with dates and observations. The most recent pages have been torn out, but a page from roughly 3 nights ago details an encounter he had with the Mark. The Mark attempted to stake Voltaire, but missed and fled. Despite the most recent pages being torn out, Ardala, you know there's a chance to at least get some information from this. Roll wits or intelligence and investigation, please.
If Ardala shares that bit about the stake,
Yeah,
not
no,
being
I'm
from
like
the UK, saying it
I'm
out. Okay,
sharing everything and
alright.
saying that out loud. Yeah, 100%.
okay. So I wanted two things here. One, because I have a specialty in botany, essentially plants, right? So I would be able to recognize what kind of wood this is. But then also my extensive knowledge of occult things mayhaps will lean into knowledge about these runes, possibly. But I'd like for the first focus to be about what kind of wood. Okay.
Right. First of all, remind me
Yes.
of that roll. Ardala,
I will.
you take a pencil out of your pocket, and using the side of the graphite tip, you begin to lightly shade over the next page. Thankfully, Voltaire has followed protocol, and you take advantage of the extra pressure he applied on the previous page, and you are able to glean some information. He was following someone he believed was Tremere. A few broken words give you just barely enough information to realize that Voltaire was watching a building in an isolated location in the far south outside the city limits. You're able to know exactly where to go that he was watching. Acheron.
Yes.
And I'm sharing this, by the way. Like, I'm like, I see it. I'm doing that. I will show it to you, and I'll be like,
Okay,
like, we should look at that stake a little better.
As soon as you say it, you already see it in Acheron's hand, and they're essentially like rotating it, looking at the wood, and eventually, if I can, the runes. But the wood is the focus at this point, because then maybe we can get a location of where it's from.
To glean information, on the material itself, please do for me either intelligence or wits and awareness. I'm open to other things.
Yes, can I do intelligence and science because my specialty is in science?
You absolutely
for the botany. Wonderful. So what we're going to do to try to guarantee this is I'm going to rouse the blood. We are successful. And then I'm going to do this. Roll.
I need to find an old lady to suck dry.
All the motherfucking dice, and for what? I'm going to do a willpower roll. Okay, much better.
I just want you all to know that before we started streaming, there were some shenanigans happening.
Absolutely were, yeah.
And at one point, Ardala here just said, what was it? So I need to suck, or I sucked on and then just left it. And we were all like,
Hey.
I'm sorry, madam.
You know, we were attempting to recall what happened last session, and we got sidetracked. Is what happened. So about what kind of wood this is. What is this steak? Where is it from?
For that, you are going to get absolutely every single bit of information you can get on this steak, including the runes. Ish.
Phenomenal. Okay.
This steak is made of rowan wood. Rowan wood is the most common in the north and west of the UK, not this part of the UK. These runes, although they are unfamiliar to you, you recognise the disgusting ramblings of the Tremere upon it. Full offence to Tremere, Salubri was innocent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apart from the bar lady, but we don't talk about that.
Okay. So I share with the group, or at least those closest to me, that this particular kind of wood is usually found in the north, some places in Africa and Asia as well. It's rowan wood, but these runes, that's what's important. Runes are markings of the Tremere. It's clearly the Tremere had it out for your friend. Perhaps specifically for the Banu Hakim.
I hiss.
Akron smiles, because also same, like, also feels angry about Tremere, so, yes. Is Hatfield and Slip still near us? Or are you guys, like, in the car still, or, like, where's your locations?
Slip is in the, kind of the background watching you guys nail this, and is like,
Yeah.
Right, yep. No, I knew that too.
Yep. I'm just standing around and looking like I have a clue. Like, that's really
Amazing.
my vibe right now.
Rami,
Yeah, absolutely.
as Akron says these words, your mind's eye is filled with a vision of spending hours remaining here. But you find nothing more. And you snap back to reality and you realize that you have completely exhausted every single clue you will ever find here.
Right, I think that's everything here. I'm never gonna get used to that.
It's very useful, though, so
Mm-hmm.
it's very much appreciated. Ardala, is there
Yes.
something you would like us to do with this particular body? We can get rid of it, or send him
I will
to...
I will have to I would rather him be brought back to our brothers and sisters.
Alright then. Slip. Is that something we
Yes.
can arrange?
I can absolutely arrange that.
Wonderful. It looks to me like, well, the Tremere are always a problem, but it seems we have a very big Tremere problem.
I mean, this definitely confirmed it, right?
I mean, it's
I
odd. I
would say
thought there was
so.
just that one person here now. Are there other here?
Well, there's this human, right? You found that there was probably someone else in this area who accomplished these tasks. And a dead Banu Hakim, which is not an easy task to accomplish at all. With the
Whomever
help
did
of-
this
Yes.
knew what they were doing.
Well, let's start simply, and I would say this like as we're in motion to getting into the
Yeah.
car. That way we're not just like out in the
We're
open
moving. Mhm.
talking about all this. We'll say, most of the time, the kindred is staked in the heart. It's a certain kind of death, but it's not permanent. It's only torpor. And once the stake is removed, you would come back. These runes, I imagine, plus the insanguination, is the way that they accomplish this true death. Now, fearful if they've been insanguinated, if it was via being fed upon. Because then if that's the case, there's a possibility of a Tremere or whomever they've helped to accomplish this against your brother. Maybe walking around with your brother's soul in them. Diablerie, essentially, is what could have occurred here. And then, to finalize it, a stake. Question, ST.
How do you do?
Because I know it varies depending on how like freshly embraced you are, right? From what I've just like gathered from Ardala's sort of response to this is not like a newly embraced Banu Hakim. This is someone who has some age on them, right?
Neonate.
Okay, so some age that okay. So then yeah, I know it kind of varies, but upon true death, most kindred turn to ash. Is it fair?
Only if it's just death, final death. Only old kindred will just turn to ash. The younger the kindred is, the more likely they are to just turn into the corpse that is suitable for the age, if that makes sense. Like if you've been embraced for 10 years, you'll turn into a 10-year-old looking corpse. Unless you've been thrown into sunlight, exposed to true faith, or things related to that.
Yeah. So my question is, how decayed are we looking here?
You couldn't Weekend at Bernie's this.
Okay,
you know
so
the final scene in Beetlejuice where the guy's smoking. That's what it looks like.
We're looking rough. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. This was not a young Banu Hakim, making that all the more difficult, and they've had aid of a Tremere, if not a Tremere himself. I imagine the runes kept him whole enough to find him. That's really what I'm trying to find out, is why this particular stake was placed in. Is it a marking of some kind, a calling of some kind? This person said to us before they died that he will rise again, which I've got ideas of who that might be, but...
Are you thinking the stake's a business card?
Sort of. A calling card of some kind. Now, here's the thing. Originally, when this person has said this, my first thought was Mithras, right? Because he is actively trying to come back. But the Tremere would not align themselves with Mithras, as he hates them and tried to remove them entirely from the city.
Hatfield, show me this stake.
Can I get a look at the thing?
It's in that statement that, like, Akron is holding it, and, like, you see, like, if their knuckles could whiten, they would, because they're holding it tightly, but they do show it to Hatfield, and I think it's because they're, like, aware of the thing existing in Hatfield, and it's like, if you don't, if you think I'm gonna just hand this to you, but we'll show it to Hatfield. Particularly showing where the runes are.
Hatfield, this stake did not terminate this kindred. There is a far more complicated ritual.
Complicated ritual.
What sort of ritual?
Can I do an intelligence and occult, since Hatfield has given us that clue.
You can. It will be difficult, though, as you do not know blood sorcery.
Can I offer
Can
a
I
+1
do
on
it?
that?
Oh, okay. So my knowledge is Tremere do blood sorcery. So what I will do is I will say, Ardala, you have, I'm sure, deep knowledge of various blood sorcery rituals. These runes seem connected to them. Perhaps you can take a look and maybe give us a clue as to what particular ritual would have been done.
Of course.
And whatever it was, I don't think it killed the guy outright. The wooden stake thing. It's not what that's for. Whatever it's for, it ain't that.
I also don't believe that was the cause.
The
But-
bloodletting might have been.
It was
cause.
it was the examination.
Mm-hmm.
Wits or intelligent and occult, please, Ardala, with a +1.
I'm gonna re-roll those 3 ones.
Potential crit on the table.
Mm-hmm.
It's the willpower re-roll, right?
Yep, WP reroll.
Reroll, yeah.
There's a crit.
Yes.
Ardala,
Mm-hmm.
spoken of in
Yeah.
hushed whisper. A truly terrifying ritual. The shaft of belated dissolution. A rowan stake inserted into any part of a kindred. Even a small splinter is all that's needed, and then it will work its way directly into the heart, effectively staking them. However, a master of this ritual is easily able to make what is normally something to disable something fatal. And this can take days to happen. The attack upon your clanmate could have happened hours ago or a week ago.
I'm
Didn't
sharing
you
this.
say? Didn't you say in the journal he was attacked 3 days ago and apparently the person missed?
Mm-hmm. Maybe they didn't.
And then, right, if this is a specific ritual that allows them to still accomplish what they wanted to without being, they didn't miss. They just needed to get to wood in them. And then after that, it would work its magic. Shiv, get it together, brother. Get it together.
I'm surprised it took this long.
I was so
For
well
somebody to make
behaved, but
a comment
that was
that's
it. That was it. That was too much, man.
Yes, so whomever attacked them 3 days ago accomplished their mission. It was just a delayed reaction.
This is not a... This is a frowned upon type of ritual.
Was he just walking around with a stake sticking out of him for days? Am I confused here?
You
I
don't need a
suppose
full one.
They could have simply put a splinter. It's the fact that they left the stake in.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm confused.
The complete lack of blood on the stake that you collected, that was not the stake that was fatal. That is just been hurled into this body. You're a sadist. You of all people understand that sometimes, even when they're dead, you still want to hurt them.
Mm-hmm. I keep that bit of information to myself, because that's for me. Right, I think that we should get moving.
Yeah,
Discuss
probably.
this more.
Because I don't think he was walking around with that thing sticking out of him for days and days and days if he got attacked 3 days ago and only just now keeled over.
No, he was attacked 3 days ago and then stalked. And then just for extra measure, the stake was put in.
There's,
Might as well be thorough, I guess.
if this body is brought back to my territory, I know that there are going to be brothers and sisters out there that could examine this more thoroughly.
Then perhaps that's what we should do. Let us bring the body back, and then we'll move on with our evening.
On that note, Slip will slap his phone closed. Oh, I've arranged for transportation for the body. It will be taken good care of. It will be taken expeditiously. It will be delivered to your grounds.
I'm going to write a note from my clipboard onto the body. It's written in cipher as well, but this is a cipher that me and my sire know. Will understand.
Yep. No problem.
Pretty much it just like tells him what we have gathered so far as information regarding the body and how we found it and like the general vibes around it that we picked up as we were looking at it.
Not a problem. I've added that to my notes.
Shiver. With the knowledge I now have, would it be safe to say that this stake is technically still active, for lack of a better word?
Mm-hmm. You
I'm gonna tuck
have
that into my bag.
absolutely lethal weapon there. Yep.
Just tuck it into my bag for just in case, you know. Right, so the Tremere have... You said that this is a very frowned upon ritual, and while Tremere, for the majority of them, are not exactly afraid to do such rituals, I do wonder, as we've come across Sabbat in the city, perhaps this is a Sabbat Tremere, who would be even more untethered and willing to do such a ritual.
Whoever they are, once I get my hands on them, they will regret every little decision that brought them here. That's all I know right now.
Can I watch?
Of course.
Fantastic. With that being said, I'm assuming we're in the car right now. Would I have any, I don't want to say knowledge, but like, I guess, would there be any way for me to try to like formulate a sort of timeline for the Tremere in Oxford? Because I know in terms of like when Mythos was around, Tremere were not in the city, or at least very deep underground in the city, not trying to be caught by Mythos, you know? And then obviously we've experienced visions when they did become a part of the, you know, the city more actively and became a part of the tower. They had their own chantry and everything. But then they disappeared again. So based, I guess, on that knowledge, what does the timeline kind of look like? Like, even if you want to do it in a span of years.
So, Queen Anne came to power. Tremere allowed back in. Queen Anne and the SI. That happened. Absolute abject chaos. Tremere was still around in Oxford, but then it was 3-4 years ago, with the Ripper incident, when the Tremere of Oxford just completely disappeared. There was another chantry in Winchester, not too far away, but they also appear to have gone dark.
Okay. I share that information with the group. Winchester isn't far, but it seems that the chantry there has gone dark as well. Now, I haven't been there, so I don't know if they're just not outwardly communicating with anyone, and so their goings-on is not accounted for, or if very similarly they've disappeared the way that the chantry, the Tremere in Oxford did. And if so, that's another bit of blood sorcery in which they've sort of banished themselves to the shadow realm, like a different realm.
Hide in a pocket dimension or walls, yeah.
Right, and only through blood sorcery was one allowed to return. One who has been trying to get territory back, but we have not accounted for their goings-on since they appeared.
I was gonna ask if you just wanted to find out what they were doing or what they were up to.
Well, that's definitely on the to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
Slip,
Yes.
have you heard of anything? Anything on the rumor mills, perhaps? Of what the Tremere
Regarding-
are up to?
Oh, the Tremere. Well,
Well, that particular
ones-
Tremere. You know.
Well, I know what is going on with the Oxford Tremere, but so do you. The Winchester Tremere specifically?
Well, we can worry about the Winchester Tremere later, but I think to know what our singular Tremere is up to currently, the one that it was in Oxford is up to, is probably most important.
Well, I know that he was told to go stuff himself when he asked for his chantry back. That's why we are still where we are. Shiv, have I heard anything recently about the no longer primogen of the Tremere?
Nothing recently. He's...
I
You presume he's out there, probably desperately trying to find anyone to be on his side, but he's Tremere, so that's not going to happen.
Well, I know that he is no longer a primogen, because there is no one for him to speak for. Odd being the primogen of all one Tremere. He doesn't have a haven. If he has a new haven, he didn't contact me for assistance with it. He might be scouting for or lobbying for permission to embrace a child so that he's got a friend. Or he's, doing Tremere shit and working on betraying us all, just trying to bring his people back.
He's Tremere, it could be all of that.
I want to double check. Rami knows about like the meeting that Calliope had with him, right? Because it would have been in her journal, or like in the notes.
Yeah, all right, yeah. I
right.
think so. I think
My brain has very much just been like Rami kind of knows everything that was happening because of that. That's all. Sorry.
All right. I am concerned whether Tremere are involved.
Bless you.
Of course, with good reason, especially if they're intent on making someone come back. Do we have cameras at the Haven, yes? Or something that would allow us to know if there's anyone who isn't supposed to be there?
Any more
We've
people
got,
falling out of our closets?
No, we've got the Haven camera system, and then we've actually got a number of security guards now as well.
All right then. We may need to keep an eye. All it required was a single drop of blood to bring that particular form of primogen back. Banu Hakim has been exsanguinated, and who knows who else has been relieved of their veto. How many do you think would come back if you could get enough veto involved? perhaps that is what their intention is, to bring someone from the wherever they were back here.
Just douse our coffin table in blood and suddenly we're hosting a party. That's a fun idea.
It sounds terrible. And they're
Yeah.
but it sounds terrible. That's all.
And then this
I can
other
only
chantry,
speculate.
this other chantry has gone dark as well. How long have they been in the dark there, Shiv?
Winchester's.
Winchester.
Probably about 2 years. Not, 6 months to a year after the Oxford Chantry went dead. The Winchester Chantry was also not as large as the Tremere one. It was more of a small substation, maybe 2-3 kindred. Winchester isn't very particularly large.
Mm-hmm.
Very pretty.
Right. Can anyone recall from the visions who else was of importance that they may have wanted to bring back?
I remember that Van Buren was bloodbound to somebody, but I don't think he would want to bring them back. And then other than that, everybody was just kind of the same shade of bug, It's,
Yeah, there was that dude that didn't have a clue what was going on. There was like a pair of sisters, wasn't there?
Yeah,
There was.
Calliope took really good notes about all of that and mentioned twins, I think it was.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I don't know if they was important. Important?
Is the regent from those visions still alive?
I know that Van Buren replaced him eventually, so he either got promoted up to question mark or is fucking dead. But I don't know for sure. Could ask
Promoting
around.
right out of this world, yeah.
Just wondering if it might be them, but I think there were
It's quite
3
possible.
people.
There's the whole faceless figure who know who he is.
Mhm.
Hatfield, are you good?
No, I'm not, just generally, but in this moment, yeah, no, I'm fine. You ever just forget how to talk, it happens.
I have never, not once. Not
Hit
since
him
I
in
was
the
at
back
that
of the
bee.
head, Hatfield. He shouldn't talk back to you like that.
Oh, you shut up.
Wow, I apologize.
Alright. Well, let's talk next moves, because as far as clues go, this is all we've got as of right now.
Sure. Where do you want to go right now?
That is the question. Where should we go? What do we investigate next? That's going to give us something of a clue of what the fuck is going on here.
You do have the
Well-
exact address of the place that Altair was watching.
Yeah, it was in the journal from Ardala.
Yeah, we could snoop around that place, or we could...
I would like to go to the less known location in which Altar was, and hopefully gain a little bit of insight on what he was keeping an eye on. Possibly the same thing that might have rendered him that way.
Sure.
Right, let's head that direction then. When we get there, everyone be on your P's and Q's, as
Of course.
they've got stakes that will kill you to death, not none of this torpor business.
You also have one, though.
I do.
And it doesn't
I
seem
said
like
what
they're
I said.
easy things to manufacture, at least. At least that's not the impression I'm getting, but...
Well, if they're complicated rituals, as we've learned, it's not something that every Chimay will know how to do. Really, all you need is one master at that craft, and that will be enough.
I mean, we
Yeah,
still gotta
apparently-
be careful, because, they can also explode your blood, but,
Well, yeah, this individual's got so many of these things, they're just leaving them places where they're already done, so, they're just giving them out.
As
Yeah,
far
that's
as
a weird
floating
move, come to
blood,
think of it.
just don't let them touch you, and you should be fine.
Oh,
Alright then.
Can
God
we go
help
back
us!
to
I'll
the real
try.
weird move that they just handed us a stake of murder death?
Yeah, it's a bit. It's a little baity, but
Yeah.
shit. Why not?
Like,
I don't know who they expected to find that body. Because what if it hadn't been us? What if it had been the Scourge? The idea
Well-
then to try to take out the Scourge?
Well, that guy also walked out and was like, "You guys are fucked," and then died. So, I mean, they wanted it to be found. They tried to send a message.
Oh, I don't deny that at all. I do believe that wanted to be found. It's a matter of who they wanted to find it. Was it an intention because we have our Dala with us now? Or
was it
Was it
addressed
any
to whom it
kindred?
may concern?
right, exactly.
Because, like,
Yeah.
no denying that's a message, and it's a pretty ballsy one, I'll say that much.
And notably, who they killed, it matters. This is not just some regular kindred. This is a Banu Hakim, and clearly someone that has some station, I imagine, Adala. So the victim
Correct.
itself is a message. Is this a we're going to war with the Banu Hakim? Or is this just a simply to whatever kindred it concerns, we killed one of your judges, and we're going to bring
so
about
cocky
somebody.
about it, we don't mind leaving the murder weapon on the scene for you to try using yourself.
Hatfield,
Precisely.
to murder a child of Hakim in such a way is almost unheard of. I have a lot of experience with this clan. I used to converse with their antediluvian.
Field makes a face that clearly listening to somebody not present in the car. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of it's kind of a dumb move unless it's very pointed. I mean, fully consuming a Banu Hakim is
Basically unheard of.
well, I don't know. Well, not of your Banu Hakim, but for everyone else, yes, mostly.
Right. Well, I think not even just the consuming, right? Because let's just imagine they didn't consume. They insanguinated them. They removed their vitae from their body, whether by diablerie or by just removing it entirely, right?
Sure.
Getting the jump on a Banu Hakim is next to impossible. It's a very rare occurrence. That's unheard of. And they specifically got rid of them in a way that was both the insanguination and this particular stake. It's almost overkill, which I'm normally not opposed to, but this is clearly a message. It's a matter of who is this a message to?
Well, there were a good number of Banu Hakim operators, mortal and not mortal, that went missing recently. It could be that this individual was approached by someone they knew and were not expecting it. Someone who had flipped on the clan.
You
Jumped
think we might
sects.
have another Mr. Rat situation here?
I could be another Rami. It's going around.
Stop it.
You know we ain't
But-
gonna.
I'm gonna
What's
still
more
ask every
likely?
time.
I mean, what's more likely at that point? That someone ambushed this Banu Hakim, this up-and-comer, and absolutely devastated them, and then stunted on them after they died, or that they did not expect who they were talking to pull that out and hit
But we
them
got
with it.
the notebook, that said he was attacked 3 days ago. Wouldn't he have mentioned if it was like, oh yeah, my buddy Jim tried to stake me the other,
Well, not if it was a corroborator. It could have been multiple people. And this is a group effort, possibly, right?
Yeah.
Right. And the final pages of this journal were ripped out. Clearly there was information perhaps on their killer. Removed so they wouldn't be identified. Which only makes this move even more ridiculous. You remove the ability to identify who you are, and yet leave a clue that says, "Hey, we're fucking Tremere."
You know who would do some silly shit like this?
Tremere.
Sabat.
Yes, and still the
Fluffy.
tower insists on the Sabot not being a thing.
Especially if
Treats
it's a
them like they're,
trap.
you know. There we are. So we're looking at Sabot Tremere.
Mhm.
Essentially,
Well, I mean, yeah. Ooh,
That
what is
card-
Van Buren?
That feels like it's obviously trying to lead us somewhere. For whatever reason, we'll find out.
Yeah.
well, you know what we're truly looking at when you really zoom out on all this is a two-pronged war. Because if you have the Anarchs rising up and organizing themselves, and then you've got possibly Sabot rising up on themselves. I'm sorry, rising up and attacking. What? Specifically the Banu Hakim? Or the tower as a whole? Or, you know what I mean? It's just too many. It's a lot of questions here, not enough answers.
I've got some thoughts on it, but we'll have to see.
Let's see what we find at this location first. Perhaps it will give us at least something to begin creating a track on. Leave your tie alone, okay? Is all I have to say. Okay? Leave your tie alone.
You arrive outside the isolated building. The building looks safe, but empty, as if whoever lived there just uprooted with all their belongings and left the house to the fate of time. The windows are not boarded up and somehow managed to not be smashed. The front door is closed, and judging by the weathering on it, it may not have even been used for some time. Everyone that has sense the unseen, please roll.
Okay.
This
Nope,
area
That
that
is
we're in,
not
is
what I
this
wanted to do.
is this an isolated area? Like,
Yes,
you know,
it's one of
trees
those.
and land around?
It's one of
or-
those strange tracks where you follow the main road and then suddenly the main road turns into a single lane, and then suddenly from being tarmac to just dirt, and then you're surrounded by trees, but you are still somehow considered in Oxford City, and it doesn't look like it. You're
Okay.
completely surrounded by trees,
Okay.
but you can hear the city off in the distance.
Okay, so are we closer to Lupine territory? Or
No.
are we closer to, like, Anarch territory?
You
I'm
are
trying
close.
to, like...
You're closest to the Nosferatu Haven, if anything.
I see.
But
Okay.
that is some distance away. That is not a walkable distance or anything like that. That's
Yeah. It's just closer to that than either of the others.
that is the closest landmark. Rami,
Okay.
you look upon this building, and you instantly see a warding circle upon the front door.
There's, immediately. Tremere magic, amazing.
You
Ugh.
do for me, Rami.
Mhm.
Intelligence plus Auspex. I will warn you,
Gosh,
though, this is a very difficult roll.
Yeah, I was gonna rouse for it. That's fine. Intelligence, brain, buttons. Oh no, what's the main role for Auspex? I never apparently... Is it resolve?
Wits.
It's however many dots you've got in
Ye-
Auspex. Just roll that
Right.
many dice, so-
I'm thinking something completely different. That's why I got... You said intelligence.
Yes.
Sorry,
please.
my brain
No,
forgot what you said.
it's one of
entirely.
those odd rolls that isn't directly on the sheet.
You're welcome.
Are you sticking with it? Would you like a reroll?
I'm gonna reroll the 2.
Oh, the 4 and the 3.
Yeah. 9.
Okay.
Much better. Rami, although you are not practitioner of blood sorcery yourself, you have been told enough times to recognize a ritual of warding circle, that protects against kindred. No kindred can enter this building apart from the caster. You could risk trying to get past it yourselves, but it would cost great amount of damage to yourselves. It might be safer to find a side or back entrance.
What do you see?
There's a ward against kindred, so we have to find another way to get in, which shouldn't be too hard.
Interesting that they would only cast this on the front door.
Yeah, you know that.
Wouldn't know how to
Swipe or no swiping.
Yeah.
disrupt.
You would know, but you would also know if anyone fails it, they will be severely hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And even trying to cross it will cost you quite an amount of... I can only think of how to put it mechanically. It's going to cost you willpower.
Yeah.
All
Isn't
right.
it like aggravated damage or something you take?
3.
And
It
then you
is,
did
I'm
like
pretty sure.
yeah, you did destroy
Yeah.
the ward. Which
Well-
yeah.
All right.
Like, if it's only on the door, we could just go through a window. Like, that's what I'm hearing.
Slip, would you like to try to find a better entrance for us?
Could
I can try.
You can always send your little friends. It doesn't
I was
necessarily
gonna
have to
say you find
put
like
yourself at risk.
insects or mice or something that are getting inside of the house and
Well,
seeing how
that's
that
the
affected
thing.
it?
It may not just be the door, right? If they could put it on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
not-
literally dated a Tremere. Let's talk about this for a minute. Okay, so
Wow! I'm
You dated a
insane.
lot of people, haven't you?
they couldn't.
He always says he's a lover,
Yes.
not a fighter. We can just move on.
Alright.
If it's on the door here, there's no reason for it to not be on other doors. It could be a situation where a whole room
Mm-hmm.
can be made this way.
Or
I'll go
doorknob.
have a peek around.
Rum.
I'll try to find us some likely entry points, but I am not going to be able to identify wards.
I will ask this. Would it be better if we sent one of your friends, whether it be an insect or whatever, to have a look around first, and perhaps you can hear some whispers about what the interior looks like? That way you don't put yourself or none of us can be put at risk.
Yeah, conduct an interview with some local beetles. See if you can
Yeah,
figure out
that
who's been
was-
coming and going. Like,
Oh, yeah,
Simply because even if we manage to find a way in, there's no telling what's inside.
Yeah.
So we may get in, but then what if we're faced with, as you say, a room that's now warded with something, and or a trap is set? Better to send something that won't register across the wards, and at
Right,
least
I'll-
give us a layout of the land.
I'll use something local. Shiv, I'd like to call upon the Beetle Boys, or whatever is an indigenous nighttime bug to this area of the UK. I have no fucking idea.
The Beetle Boys.
The local
Yes,
Beetle
this-
Boys.
yeah.
The sounds that emanate forth from the chest cavity of Slip are not human in this moment, as I call to the insects around us.
Do you need to roll for that with your
Amazing.
powers?
I
or is that a free
do,
one?
yeah.
In the meanwhile,
It's just whispers, but it also applies to insects now.
before I forget, Ardala will approach Rami. Rami, when you looked at the ward, I do know that some with the gift of vision like that might also be able of scrying who the original caster was. Did you gain such information?
Is that Is that a discipline specifically for
No,
this
that's-
book, or is
No,
that
that's
she's right.
just
She's
a
fucking right. She's
contest.
calling me out.
Alright.
She's absolutely right. I
Alright.
missed that.
I don't use sentient team that much. I just have it.
No, but that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
I'm like, well, if you win against a contested, like, a roll,
it's a crit
you do know who
too.
the fuck
Yeah.
the
yeah.
caster is.
Mm-hmm.
May give us some clues.
That's very fun.
In the interim, while Shiv is doing that, you'll see Akron actually pulls out a sketchbook, and they begin to sketch out this building itself and the sort of flora and fauna that is around it. I am actively looking for any kind of trees, perhaps that don't belong in this area, but are growing here. Sort of like possibly like an easy access way for them to get the kind of wood they would need for these rituals that they're pulling off.
There are no rowan trees in this area.
Okay, that's fine. But you still see,
Yep.
Akron is sketching it out.
Slip. You'll gather forth a small group of earwigs and ask them to scurry forth, scouting out. You send some of them into the house and some of them around the house. The ones that go into the house eventually report back to you that the house is completely derelict and empty. There is nothing inside of it at all. It is covered in dust. The earwigs that went round the side and the back come back to you and report that upon the back there is a strange, out-of-place door embedded into the wall.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Thank you. All right, off you go then. Well,
I imagine these little earwigs are like, mee mee, and then fucking run off. Just make little like.
well.
What were you gonna say, Slip? I'm sorry.
The interior of the building is completely empty. It's just dust and it's been gutted. There's no thing. It is an empty
Complete-
building. So
At
that
least
ward
completely
is...
empty of the things that the beetles can see, or the earwigs can see.
Yeah, so... Sure. Yeah, essentially, yes. So effectively, the ward on the door is... it's the carrot. And the rest of the house is the stick, and there's no one at the other end of it. It's just,
Are you
fuck
saying
around
they
and
put a
find out.
kindred keep out sign on the door specifically to entice us to enter? Is that what you're implying here?
fucking probably, because around the back, there's a very out-of-place door that does not match the decor of the house. Or at least to the sensibilities of an earwig. Which I have recently found to be, quite in the know about such things.
You know what? I believe them.
Yeah, I believe them too. No reason to lie to me.
So,
Always trust an earwig. Yep.
I've had a thought here. Adala,
Yes.
when your brothers and sisters are sent out to do whatever, is there any kind of either a kindred within your clan that knows of all the missions that people have been sent out on, and or a log of what they're being sent out on for? Because if we can find out why he was here observing this place, what was it that he was trying to keep an eye on, then perhaps that will give us a little bit more knowledge.
Kulal always knows everything. We must report to him most of the time. And my sire, Mordred, would also know most of the missions regarding, out of Camarilla matters, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. I think, if you're trying to discredit the tower and attack them, you would prioritize their key figures, one of which is the Scourge. So if you know Ardala is around investigating shit, you would hit someone important to them. You'd leave a clue, just enough information behind for us to get here, that ward is to soften us up. At best.
Do you mind, Adala, if I take a look at that journal? Just for a moment.
Of course. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna peer through this journal, and I just want to see if I can find the why. Why this location? Were they, like, you know, what was the mission that they were out to observe? Because they weren't here just for, you know, shits and giggles. They were here clearly because they were looking for something.
This is tying into the spontaneous human combustion. This Altair was looking for a possible suspect, and he seemed to have found a likely candidate in this mark.
Mm-hmm. And that's where those pages are then removed, right? As to who that might have been. Okay.
Yep.
It is clear he was on the same mission as we are.
It would make sense.
So
he was one of our top investigators, for sure.
At one point, perhaps there was someone here. The ward's never removed in case anyone came to look further. Or perhaps... sorry, just very quickly. Perhaps, as you said, Slip, the ward is there to soften a kindred up right before an attack. How else would you be able to overcome a Banu Hakim unless you're very old? But if you're just, you know, whatever, Joe Schmo fucking Tremere over here.
Could be that, or, did the investigator know how to make that ward? They could have placed it on the door as well.
Ardala, you'd know that
Is
no
that-
neonate can do such a complicated ritual. This is a very advanced ritual.
No, this is way too advanced for a neonate. They were capable, but not that capable. Not yet,
Okay.
anyway.
Shall we investigate the back door or the front door?
Let us look at this out of place door. It seems
Yeah, I would
Just
like to
wiser.
look at that as well. Perhaps
seems
Rami
wiser than the front door.
try something from it as well. Since
Yes.
I mean, I'm curious about the windows, if this place hasn't been broken into. It's been abandoned for a while.
It's strange that it's boarded up, but the windows themselves haven't been broken
Yeah.
at all. Kine have a penchant for going into places they're not meant to if they think no one is home.
Also, Shib, I have no idea how to pronounce his name. That you sent me.
Yes, and
check.
that all said,
Alantridae.
Oh,
what I
Alantridae.
What is it?
Alantridae. A-L-A-N.
also take the information we were given with a grain of salt, please. Earwigs are not Hufflepuffs; they're not good finders. All right.
Right, but
What?
still, they've given us enough information.
I don't know what that is.
We've got to get you to read some books.
I mean, I read medical books, but
No, I don't. But that's what I'm saying. Other than medical books, because I know you've got extensive medical
know-
knowledge.
At this point, can we just get to the door? Not here for
No,
a
I
book
just-
club today.
No, I
Proceed
expect that we're on
round
our way.
the side of the building, slowly working your way through the thick undergrowth and branches stretching out, blocking the way forward. As you work your way through this dense growth, is there anything you'd like to talk about?
alright. So Akron, I do read romance novels, just so you know.
Oh my gosh!
Amazing. We will talk about this. You know, we had suggested starting a book club, but we should do it. We should actually follow through. Things have been a little crazy. We could use a little relaxed reading time.
Yeah, I understand.
Right. But okay, so staying on task, however.
I want to also use heightened senses, just in case I hear things in the house, even though apparently no one's in here. Because I worry.
Do wits and awareness and add your auspex to the result,
Oh,
please.
no.
All right. I'm going to rouse to do my vicissitude in order to bring out
That's
my blade claws.
Terrible. 8.
4?
4.
Oh, because you've... Yeah, duh.
That's awesome.
Yeah, duh. You can hear breathing from somewhere.
Ooh.
Very strong breathing.
I was gonna make a joke, stop sitting next to me. But,
Sorry. It's very humid out here. It's playing havoc on my sinuses.
You don't breathe.
When was the last time you used your lungs, honestly?
Tonight.
Why?
Shit.
I can,
Alright, so...
I can hear breathing, that's all.
No. Oh.
Is here.
Mm-hmm.
That's not alarming in the
Lovely.
least.
Mm-mm.
So there
I
is
roused-
somebody here and they are breathing. Well,
Yes,
tell you what,
kind.
but-
range.
Is it
Ooh,
breathing
perhaps.
like an adult human being breathes, or like a large
Twisted mass of
furry
flesh.
animal breathes? It's
Okay, so I've roused for vicissitude blood closed.
You don't,
Do I
you
only
don't have to roll for that. I will let you be able
'Cause
to
we're-
just do that.
Okay.
we're kind of
Okay.
fucking out here. Like, we're out here, and if there's a lupine in there, I'm gonna fucking scream.
Yeah.
Not to mention,
Hey,
the
listen.
last time we was investigating stuff along this thread, we wound up in a literal stomach.
Uh-huh.
All right, look, if I recognize any work of my clan, I'll let you know. But as of right now, we're just in the fucking woods, yeah? So,
That's
Claws,
that's
right?
exactly where you would keep your Schlachta if you didn't have a cool haven, right? In the
I would
goddamn
never be
woods.
caught. I would not be caught without a haven, I'll say that much. Okay, so here we are. Again, I will keep an eye out for any of my clan's work. Wonderful. So, Claw's fucking out. Once Rami has pointed out the breathing, because we don't breathe, we can move very quietly because of that. And when you're in the dark in the woods, every sound is like amplified. Is there a way for us to maybe kind of tunnel in on this breathing?
Not really. No. There's too much around you to be able to say for sure that way.
Mhm.
You're out in
Yeah.
the middle of the woods, you've got a city not that far away, and it's too much to be able to just say, nah.
I'll just...
If you're listening for something in the woods and there are squirrels anywhere in the vicinity, it is very
Yeah.
difficult to pick up other noises.
I hate it. All right.
I'm just gonna
That's
keep
fine.
my senses up at least in case I hear it closer to where we're going. So,
Yeah, that's gonna help.
it's not. Leave me alone. I'll leave.
Oh, let Rami
car.
live.
I'm going back to the
Rami
car.
live.
I'll let all of them alone.
Okay, so here we are in the woods.
You are able to release
Okay.
yourselves from the overgrown boundaries of the building, coming to a clearing behind the house. In stark contrast to the normal front of the house, the back has no windows. The red brickwork is exposed, and only a single iron door embedded into the wall is a single feature. You have all but a moment to see this, when echoing closely behind you is an alien roar. You spin to see the
Nope.
towering pile of flesh and bodies entwined together. The imposing
Nope, I
mound
don't
stands
fucking
atop
like
a
it.
pair of twisted
What did I
torsos
say?
that have been
I
forced
fucking-
into
So
an arch
about my clan's
and
work.
curled
As soon as I
around a
hear the
natural-
sound, like before we turn around, Akron's, that sounds like my clan's work, and looks over the shoulder and is like,
Hold it! What did I say?
And what did I say to
in the
you,
woods, can't
Hatfield? Hey, buddy, fuck you.
You foreshadow things. That's all it is. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I don't know how you fucking saw that one coming. We're gonna have words, Hatfield. Can you see my notes?
I got specs on
Okay.
bro.
Amazing.
The menagerie of humans
that's
forced together
cool.
studies you for a moment before bringing its enlarged right arm made up of several people, their faces frozen forever in anguish and terror and comes crashing down threateningly upon the ground. What would you all like to do?
Not get crushed by a giant, malformed torso arm.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that
can't
would be
provide
very
that.
nice,
Next.
actually.
So wait, so here's my thing, right? Because I am Samisi, but unfortunately player doesn't know everything about Samisi just yet. We're still learning. Now I was able to manipulate the stomach, right, with flesh crafting.
Yes.
Now I'm not saying I'm gonna pull the same move twice, but I am curious as to because I do know what this creature is, would I have the advantage of knowing like perhaps a weakness, like a weak spot that I could point out to the fighters of the group?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Vodge don't have them.
Amazing. I do love to hear that. So Acheron is just like, run. That's all, like Acheron takes a split-second look and is like, run.
Was I not very clear when I said you have escaped from the surrounding dense overgrowth to a clearing? You are trapped. This is why there was a ward on the front door. To funnel you here, where you just simply couldn't run away.
I have several fucking problems and a bone to pick, but we are gonna deal with this first. So very quickly, as we fucking do the two-step to try to stay out the way of this crazy arm, I will kind of like divulge that information to the group of like, especially to someone like Hatfield who is newer, to be like, it has no weaknesses. Stay out of its reach.
I don't know about that. And then I'll rip my shirts open and spill bees all over this thing.
Yes, killer bee time!
This is not gonna help. It makes me feel better.
Flip's famous battle cry. Would you like to roll?
Amazing.
They're Famali. They're ghouls. They are ready to die for me. They just go.
Okay.
Or you can get more.
It's true.
Well, you still got a turn then, Slip. Regardless. Well, I'm going to say that these bees don't really bother this creature at all, I'm afraid.
But it makes Slip feel better.
It does make Slip feel psychologically better.
Yeah. All right, Hatfield, you want to go high and I'll go low, or do we want to die at the same elevation?
Jesus Christ.
He's not wrong.
I have an odd question.
Knuckles, whatever works.
All right, I'll just charge in and try to... Here we go!
Strength bro.
I would like to take out my cane sword and do the same one with the blade.
Yep, that'll take
And
turns,
Shenanigans.
and you need to do a round.
Yep.
I'm rousing. Here we go, boys. And I
just want to know, I need 2 hands to hold all these dice.
how do I bullshit I'm grappling this?
You need to bullshit, just go strength. Just say you want to try and grapple it, and we'll work it out.
I'm gonna try and grapple this thing.
That's my problem, not yours. Fucking hell, you do what you
Full
want to
face
do.
hugger.
I have to deal with it. Jesus.
I'm gonna re-roll the 5, the 3, and the 2.
What's the fucking
Twisted
point of
massive-
all these fucking dice? I'm only going to roll 2 successes.
10 successes and it's a crit. Blah, 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 blah.
Don't worry, Shiv. We're getting all of our good rolls out of the way now.
I thought you would do
I thought
that
I needed
earlier.
this thing. Oh, shit!
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Slip! Somehow you are able to dive upon this creature, and you are able to move in ways that is far too fast to for this bulk of flesh to be able to successfully grab you. You have successfully, for intents and purposes, grappled it. Although you have not actually restrained it, it is far too busy trying to grasp at you. So mechanically speaking, we're going to say it's grappled.
Airfield, save me! Someone save me!
Ardala,
Amazing.
you're bringing out your sword. Or we're going to say you're after slip and bringing out your sword, doing a rouse check. You've done that.
Yep, which I failed. I'm hungry.
Hatfield,
Fine.
Hello, yes.
what would you like to do? As if I don't know.
Just quick question is, I have to activate either prowess or toughness. Yes, I can't do them both in one turn?
I think you can only activate one discipline at a time, but you can have more than one active at a time.
Okay, yeah, just wanted to make sure. I think I'm gonna activate. I wanna activate toughness first. I think that's my move here.
First rouse.
Getting hungrier, but that's the least of my worries right now.
I don't know. I have 10 dice and I rolled 2 successes. I wouldn't worry.
I am worried regardless, but I would like to
I am
yeet
very
myself into
worried.
battle to try to backslip up here. Just full on going and screaming. It's fine. Everything's
strength roll.
fine.
Going to take a -2 penalty to its dodge. Oh, thank heaven.
Ew.
Fuck you, Kane.
That's right.
Hatfield, you come charging forth. Brass knuckles. You are wearing brass knuckles, aren't you?
Sure, yes, I do have them. I rarely remember to put them on first, but yes, I have them.
I'm just going to make it +2, so that's 3. Sorry, they've changed the fucking thing on Roll20, and now I've got it in dark mode, and now the sheet is too dark, and I don't know where the fucking squares start, because all the squares are black. And the problem with
Oh,
the character
no.
sheet is, because it's in dark mode, is the background is black. So it's basically, here are squares.
Well, that's what happens when we do these fights at night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of, so,
Hatfield, you come charging forth, and you are able, with your brass knuckles, to successfully start pounding away at various pieces of flesh, tearing it off with just pure brute force, managing, of course, to time your punches as to not hit slip. And I'm going to give the Vaj a go, because otherwise he's not going to fucking get to do fucking anything, and the only thing he can do is try and throw slip off of him. Strength for all slip.
Oh, I'm rousing again. I'm gonna re-roll. None of that actually.
All right, well, I'm going to re-roll. Fuck you.
No!
he's brittle, please.
Hang in there, Slip!
I thought it only wants 6 bigger.
6. Yep, Slip, you're able to successfully evade every single opportunity presented to this creature as it tries to reach towards you. You find a very nice, safe, comfortable spot right at the top in the middle of its back as it tries desperately to reach you but is unable, and looks almost comedic if it weren't for the fact that it was one of the most towering and infernal creations that you've ever seen. Who would like to go next?
I laugh, a manic laugh of somebody who knows they very well might die but is laughing anyway.
I have a question. So because of my knowledge of this particular art form, would I have knowledge that there is blood running through its body?
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Okay.
I mean,
So I will. Amazing. I will lean over to Ardala and say, perhaps the best point of attack for you is not with your blade, but with that ability to make things explode.
Do not worry about it. I've been thinking about that already.
Wonderful. I'm so glad we're on the same page. And I will remain where I am, out of the reach of this thing, because your boy does not have lots of hit points. So I will let the fighters fight. I'm playing purely support at this moment.
So what are you doing, sorry?
I'm staying where I am, but I'm sort of playing support in that I'm observing the situation. I'm like, there's blood running through this thing. I've suggested to Ardala to use her explode body ability, blood boil ability, to attack this thing. That might be more efficient than a blade, given that these things don't really have weaknesses.
Okay.
Also, side note, Eyes of the Beast, that's something that I can just turn on. I don't have to rouse for it, yeah?
Correct.
Okay, I have Eyes of the Beast up so that I can see in the dark in case anything else wants to try and, like, you know, attack. I'll be on the sort of lookout for anything else, any other threats.
Yep. That brings us to Rami.
I was gonna ask, the way that premonition is worded, where it can give you like sudden inspirations or keep you from danger, can I use premonition in this area to figure out what I should do to fight this thing without like directly attacking it?
I think the answer is don't.
It might
I
be better
really
for
like
like
that.
the inspiration of how to support, right?
Yeah, is there like anything that Rami could do besides like directly going to attack it? I'm just curious. Because like part of premonition is to like keep you out of danger. You can see if you're gonna get like hit before you get hit. But it also says like in the description like inspiration or like.
Yeah, I
don't know.
don't like using those fluff though for mechanics.
I know.
What they
ask
say in the
about-
fluff, and then they put in the
I
system, and you're
know.
like, these two are very different things.
I know, that's why I thought I'd ask.
I don't think
Well,
you
that's why I
even, to be
suggested-
honest with you, I don't think premonition is even something you would need. You've got a brain, you've got common sense, you've got a desire to remain existing.
Yeah.
Anything that is there, anything you can see, you can use as a weapon. If you could start hacking away at a tree or pushing that over, things like that, throwing rocks at it, anything like that. Although at the moment as well, it is far more interested in trying to get this fucking insect off of it that is just crawling around it, while at the same time, probably on one of its body legs, is Hatfield just practicing like Rocky in a fucking abattoir.
I'm going to find its kneecaps and I'm going to take it out!
Perhaps, as a suggestion, sort of in-game, Acheron will say to Rami, perhaps you can investigate that door. Perhaps there's wards elsewhere that we can maybe pinpoint to allow us into the building, should we need to be in the building.
Another idea. Completely crazy idea. At the end of the day, this that is actually true. Yeah, that's possible, but that's
Sorry,
also
what were
not
you
a great
saying?
idea.
I'm sorry.
But you could
Not
also
now,
you have a
crossed my mind as
scalpel.
well, though.
This creature is literally made up of many different people. You know, scalpels do damage. Eyes are very sensitive things. If you want to start chucking a scalpel or something like that,
I was gonna ask what the roll for throwing was.
Dex and
before
athletics.
Isn't? Let's do it. Let's throw something if it has eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you take improvised weapons as a speciality?
Yeah.
+1.
Yep.
Listen, guys. If all else fails,
-4
have a
penalty for its dodge.
This thing is being kept together by supernatural means, obviously, but it's still like a mound of like humans.
Yes, so like
correct?
So like clarification Acheron would give you is that this is literally like Frankenstein together bodies that have been through Samiti flesh crafting brought back as this sort of guard dog monster. Hence the suggestion that they were like, this would be the thing to maybe try to use your bubble.
No,
boiling
Yeah.
blood
that's what I wanted to
scenario.
know, because like Cauldron of Blood obviously has like a slightly different thing on mortals versus kindred, right? So like
yeah,
that,
but these are made of
This creature, I would
Yeah,
count
and
this
it's
creature as a
mortal
mortal.
bodies.
as
to be honest with
mortal.
you.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
also, just like if I wanted to take like a little sip in the meanwhile, just to quench some of the thirst.
Yeah. Why the fuck not?
Yes.
Why the fuck
Yeah.
not? Rami!
Also, yes.
Bringing out one of your trusted scalpel blades. One of your least favourite ones. That one that's just... It's not quite sharp enough anymore. Really, you should have gotten rid of it, replaced the blade, but... it seems to have...
Sentimental.
You seem to have kept a hold of it for this exact reason. And you throw it with force at this creature. And somehow, miraculously, it's as if this blade has had its last bit of life as being a sharp object, tears across the flesh of a piece of what you could call a thigh, even though it's basically someone's torso. And you do a rather significant amount of damage, and you watch as blood begins to pour from the cut your blade has inflicted upon it. Which brings us round to Slip for round 2. Slip, strength brawl if you want to continue grappling this creature, first of all.
Oh. Is that how that works? Shit.
Yeah.
Guess I'm rousing again. 7 again.
Can't wait for next session when we all roll like 0s and 1s on everything.
Okay, I'm re-rolling 2. I'm gonna re-roll the 4 and the 2, specifically.
Okay. Yes!
Oh, I tried.
The creature finally catches you, Slip, picks you up, and just discards you onto the ground several feet away and turns its attention towards Hatfield.
Ah!
Squaring up.
Ardala, your sword has been imbued with your potent vitae.
That's the sound that it does.
Give me them toes!
Amazing. Incredible.
Sorry for my outburst.
I am going to as I obviously unsheathed my cane sword or whatever, and also I will just take my jacket off very dramatically because we're businesswomen attire right now, so that is a little confining. It's not time for business suits, you know what I mean?
Right. I'll take the jacket off and fold it
violence.
neatly.
It's time for violence, and my Armani jacket is not going to be tainted by this thing. Okay?
Yes, I will take it, fold it neatly onto a tree branch, so it's just hanging there because you can't have wrinkles on an Armani jacket.
You too. You're fucking great.
So-
Yep. Yep.
So I'm just not
Meanwhile,
a problem, darling.
God.
Liver and Slip and Hatfield are just screaming.
In the background flailing. Listen, drip is fucking forever, you gotta take care of what you got, and hangs it on the branch.
Okay, tell me if this is too much, and we can tone this down, it's fine. But I would like to literally just lounge forward, impale this guy, and as I'm impaling, I'm just gonna put my a hand on whatever part of that thing. Anything. I just want to lounge and you know what I mean? Is that a possible thing to do?
I would let you do the attack as Dex melee,
Yes.
and then you can be set up very nicely as long as there's no big dramatic things that happen, like it explodes, for you to do Cauldron of Blood on the next turn, if you'd like.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
do Dex melee, and it's going to dodge with a -1 penalty at this point.
Because I'm right there, and if I need to as well, I can't do that, I am set up I am set up. Okay,
Just
I am going to do
admiration
it.
from the corner.
I'm going to
wave.
rouse, and like if we lose control, at least we're like right there in front of this big mountain of flesh. So no
on the
problem.
thing to the thing to
Yeah.
lose control on for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a good time. I think it's a good time. You know, the frenzy time. It's fine.
I need a fucking
Yeah,
dice
yeah.
jail. I really actually need a dice jail.
Okay.
It's not even
cleanse
worth
your
my
dice.
time to
Your
re-roll with what I've rolled
melee
here.
and
It's just fuck. What?
dexterity.
You gotta cleanse your dice. That's what you gotta do. You gotta speak.
Okay,
sweet
we're
nothings to
gonna
them.
re-roll. We're gonna have the beast there. It's fine. It's okay. I'm gonna re-roll 3 of those because how the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
mhm.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I completely
fine.
understand.
Fuck you!
Amazing. Okay.
Ardala,
Yes.
you take your
What?
sword, and as an expert, you glide forward, cutting through the air, and impale your blade directly into the creature's chest and tear upwards, spilling viscera and vitae upon the ground. The creature lets out a howl of extreme pain and forces itself to one knee, but is just barely standing as vitae is spilling from virtually every orifice. Hatfield.
I would like to run up and hit it very, very, very hard.
Strength and brawl.
Can I activate prowess as well?
Yes. Do a rouse check. You don't need to, but do a rouse check.
I want to hit it very, very, very hard. That's my intent anyway. We'll see if the dice allow me to.
And I'll dodge with my -3 penalty. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to reroll 3, because I can.
Reroll one of those,
2.
I think.
2.
of
You
those?
can
Oh,
do
I
the 1
had
and
a
5.
wait.
Okay. I'll do
I
that.
Can
inclu-
I
I
just
in-
roll?
I included your damage
Okay,
from
okay. Because
one with the
I
blade.
forgot that I had 2 dice bonuses, and I forgot to add that.
I just
on
gave
top
you a
of
flat
it.
2 damage
Okay.
bonus for that one because I wasn't sure. I didn't want to interrupt the flow because
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Hatfield, you're
Looking
oh,
good,
God
Hatfield.
damn it, Hatfield. Hatfield, you were all worried. Hatfield, you see this vitae spilling out onto the ground. And you're sick to death of having your kills stolen from you. You're
I
not
am.
about to let
It's
it
true.
happen. Look at this 12-foot tall monstrous creature. There's a voice in your head telling you to just go for it. You
The voice is
deserve
me!
this. You can bring this down. And without even a second thought, you climb to the top of this beast's massive frame and begin to punch directly into what could only be described as its head, smashing it into small pieces over and over until it is nothing more than puree underneath your brass knuckles. The creature had already died several minutes earlier, but that didn't stop you from smashing the remains of it into nothing more than a puddle upon the ground.
Just in the corner. Akron's like, yes.
Have a
Go
scream
Hatfield.
of triumph.
10 out of 10, you know? Now that that's fucking done, I have a question, Shiv.
Yes.
Because there's now, like, massive body parts and whatever else. I feel, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel as if, like, Samitsi, because flesh crafting is quite literally an art to them, right? In the same vein as artists, they would sign their work in some way, shape, or form. Is there a way for me to sort of, with maybe like a +1, to investigate this sort of mass and see if I can maybe get an inkling as to who the creator might have been?
No.
No.
flesh crafting
Yeah.
simply
Okay.
just...
Could I take a
So-
little?
Yeah,
There's
it's
no at
just
least
barely fresh
artistic
enough,
flair.
and there's no need to give you a roll for that either. So you may stake up to 3 hunger for free if you like, but do not go below 1.
Okay. Yep.
There is
I
enough
will
left
take
of this creature
all-
if anyone else wants to feed as well.
Well, Shiv,
I'm not better than that. I'm not
I'm
better than
hungry.
this pile of blood. Nope.
I'm at hunger 4 and there's special sauce all over the floor. So,
Special sauce. Yes.
my frenzying here. Can I ride the wave and just dive in?
I feel like you would just dig in. Like,
He's going to get lost in the sauce. He's swimming in spaghetti.
I will pass you like a special like thing. You can just,
straw. A fucking boba straw.
yeah, boba straw. Like, just slurp that thing. Like.
But me and the bees are in a pie eating contest right now, dog. My face is already covered in berries.
He is swimming
I
in it.
love it.
I'm gonna get my scalpel and then go look at the wards on the door and
There
Yes.
are
figure
no
that out. Well, that's
wards on this door,
How much
Okay.
is left for me,
On the-
Shiv?
on the back door. You may slake 3 hunger slip, and you are right
There you-
to ask if there should be a hunger frenzy, but honestly, it would be completely pointless because there is just a massive flesh there with blood in it, and you have a straw. So yeah, it would just be
Amazing.
pointless.
You're swimming in
So
spaghetti donuts.
after, when I see that Ardala has finished like sipping, I will have both handkerchief and hand and their jacket, and I'm like, here, it's very like, here, babes, like wipe your mouth because you're looking crazy there, but here's your jacket, like.
well. While all this is happening, I'm gonna
you.
just try to open the back door.
Back door
Just
is
over there
locked.
rubbing.
I'm gonna
wiping
try to like
bloody
just force it
knuckles on
open.
jeans.
Strength.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna see if I can get it open.
It'd be incredible if you could.
Ew.
So very-
Would you like to stick with it,
Oh,
or would you like
no.
to re-roll any of those?
Roll the 1. We'll see what happens. I want to see what nonsense happens. Nope, it's 2.
Rami,
Okay.
Yeah.
you walk up to this
I
metal
got
door
lockpicks.
and try to open it, but it
Mhm.
does not respond to your touch. You put your foot on the wall and start pulling, and it does not respond. You put both your feet on the wall and start pulling desperately on this door. Your grip loosens upon the handle, and you fly off and fall upon your backside onto the ground. But the door remains steadfast.
Probably like
That's fine.
for a second looks over at Rami and is like, well,
Feels happy.
like you gave it your best shot type of look, like you did your best.
Covered in the blood of a
Um,
fallen enemy, Mithras and Hatfield personality aligned in what Hatfield is living right now and is just cackling.
Amazing.
I'm gonna
So
roll
my
my
next
shirt
thing
up.
is- Oh. True.
I'm gonna roll my shirt up. All right, kids, back on the bus.
Just a collected zzz back into the fucking hive. So it's a question here, right? So clearly, Samitzi involvement. However, it seems unlikely to me that this was it a Vaj or Schlachta? Which one was this?
Boshed.
Okay. Was there a place of sort of where it would like reside when there's no threat?
You of all people, you are Zamitsi. Zamitsi love just to be sometimes just live in the woods. You know that elder Zamitsi, such as they are in these modern nights, do like to just meld with the ground and become one with their surroundings in that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to have a look around. And I'm just, as I'm peering about, right? Sort of in the same vein of looking for a signature. I just want to see if I can find any hints or clues. Something to, because the only other Samitzi I know of is the Baron. And I'm trying to see, okay, is this the Baron's work? Is the Baron here? Or is there someone we didn't know that has been just existing in the woods? Like, is there evidence that this is an elder?
I don't think you've got you haven't got anything you could discern that from. You're out in the woods. The only thing that's there is this monstrous creature. The only thing you'll be able to go for certain is, yep, someone made that.
Okay.
But there might be
the better
answers
question.
behind the door.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Well, actually, this door, is it the kind of door that one could perhaps crime open with lockpicks?
Yes.
Then I would like to put away the voice in my head telling me to just full-on kick it down and try to crime open this door with lockpicks.
Dex larceny for crime.
Rami will get out of She would have to get up from the ground that she's laying on in front of the door.
I'm just stepping over you kidding me?
Alright, that's valid.
Quick question while that's being rolled. I have to ask, because it's you and it's Table of Horrors and it's an out-of-place door. Does Slip recognize this door?
Oh! No, it's not that door.
No. Okay, I was like, oh shit, hold it.
That door is always open for business. Hatfield.
And just a little voice in Slip's head is like, don't you dare open that fucking door.
You remember the last time?
You remember the last time.
Both of you shut up.
The last time.
Hatfield. Still flying on the wings of victory. You place your tools inside of the lock and dexterously, expertly put each and every single tumbler in its place and elegantly open the door. I can't think of any, oh my, it's one of those situations of, you've opened the door so fucking well, you may have a willpower point back.
Okay. Grins kind of winks at Rami and gestures after you in the most respectfully insulting way possible.
I put my hand up. Can you help me up?
The door creaks open on
Rami
its
a pat on the
hinges.
back.
The piercing noise echoes down a long stone corridor of stairs that lead down below the building. A faint flickering glow of light is reflected on the wall, showing the way down to the bottom. There is nothing triggering sense the unseen.
Well, Tremere and Samiti working together. The only other Samiti in the city, as far as I know, is the Baron. Very strange indeed. Okay. My mind is fucking going a million miles a minute right now. Fuck. Okay. So there's no wards, right? No one since the unseen shit has like kicked off.
Right.
Cool. Amazing. I'm basically looking out for more Samiti shit. Like if they were powerful enough to make a Vaj, then they may be powerful enough to essentially make like a temple of flesh or more creatures similar to that. So like, so that's really, I'm looking at the environment as we sort of, if we're gonna walk through with that in mind.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So, ahead of time, if I notice anything Samitsi-ish, let a brother know. You know what I'm saying?
I got you covered, bro.
Let a man know. Because now Acheron is paranoid. Because it's.
Are you? How paranoid would you say you are, Acheron?
I wouldn't say to like activate a fucking paranoid compulsion or anything like that. But I would. Okay. I guess paranoid isn't the word I'm looking for. But more so like
vigilant.
Yeah, like on
on
high alert for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, on guard, because it's like it's not even so much that a Samiti is doing these things, right? It's that they are possibly aligned with the Tremere, and that presents a huge problem.
Basically, someone has fucked around, and you're ready to find out.
Right, because like not only is that a clan issue, that's like an issue for forgive my sort of olden speech, but for the realm. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not great.
For the realm.
It's
Oh,
not
God.
looking good. Blood
the
sorcery and
Emperor.
flesh crafting, like, listen, blood sorcery and flesh crafting, not great. Not
We
good.
ban everyone from having caffeine and sugar before we play.
But sugar is so good, Chef. It's so good.
I'm so
It wouldn't make much of a
sorry.
difference, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, that's true.
Ah.
I'm just sat here after 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and it's like just hit 10 a.m. and I'm like, I have got dead skin over my eyes still. What's going on?
Have you
You
tried
need that second cup. That's what it is.
more?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you tried more?
Yeah, but
You
then I'm
need
going to
a
go and
second
go
cup of
for a
little Vitae
piss
thrown
after
in
like
there.
10 minutes going live. It happens. I can't. I'm old now.
Amazing.
I've got
Okay,
a
yeah.
bladder the size of a fucking almond.
We'll continue through.
As you walk down, is there anything you'd like to talk about? Perhaps my fucking almond-sized bladder.
I don't know. I think I heard God talking about how he's got an almond-sized bladder, guys. I don't know.
Funny.
Wait,
How we
who
just
said
had
that?
those inklings.
I don't know. Some fucking voice in the sky. Anyway, so about this
God.
fucking place.
God
This
is
fucking
speaking,
place.
and apparently
Jesus
God has an
Christ.
almond-sized bladder.
If
No,
I'm
yeah,
God and I'm the
very
one in
bizarre.
heaven, what the fuck's in charge of hell?
Hey. Hey.
But hey, my heaven's gonna be
anyway,
a hell of a lot more fun.
Zaddy, that's who. Zaddy and
Yeah.
Mommy.
What's happening right now?
Okay, so
We're
what are we
getting
thinking we're gonna
sidetracked.
find out?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are we looking for?
Okay, so here's the deal.
More Zmitzi, more blood
We
sorcery.
just went against the exactly. We just went against the Forge. You need to be quite proficient in flesh crafting. It's not okay. With my abilities, I can give you extra fucking body parts if you'd like.
I'll pass, but okay.
With someone who can create that's a ritual. That's something that requires a lot more time, effort, being undisturbed, and power. Not just anyone can do that. So this is someone who is probably of an older persuasion, and so likely, between the combination of blood sorcery and what we faced out there, it might not be great in here. So
So
Yeah.
is that the kind of thing you whoever made that, would they just wander off and leave it behind, like door guard? Or would they have to still be nearby? Like what's the vibe of this
no,
thing?
you can. Oh, you can very much. Correct me if I'm wrong, SD. You very much can just leave it to stand guard. There was a Samiti in New York that had them all over the sewers, just hanging out. So,
That's one way to fucking
You know.
put it.
Acheron.
yes, dear.
So, if you could
Yes.
make Vaj,
Mm-hmm.
would you stop at just one?
No. That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
So
gotcha.
once you can make them, it ain't exactly a big deal making more.
I mean, why
yes,
stop,
and to
right?
be quite honest, in the craft itself, right, it's a bit like what's a bit of an addiction? You make one, you've got to make another. You've got to see the extent of which your craft can be pushed.
Okay.
There are Samiti that
So
are
the
of such
fact
power
that-
that they can create whole buildings of flesh. You understand?
I do not like the thought of that. But so basically, what I was angling for is the fact that this thing left behind don't necessarily mean it was guarding anything fancy. It might just be that the guy was using it here earlier and then wandered off and just like, oh, it's not worth traveling with the thing. I mean, imagine taking that on a train and just left.
Yes and no. There may have been something of importance in here at one point, or there is still something of importance.
Yeah, I
here.
mean, there could be, but not necessarily. The fact that its presence
right.
it remains does not necessarily indicate anything one way or the other, is what I'm trying to communicate.
Right, absolutely.
You know, real quick.
Could have been made for fun.
So, Shiv, what I'd like to do. Slip is a builder. He is a descendant of Xavier. And I'd like to press my ear to the wall and just knock a few times and find out if this is a building or a very neatly constructed wooden shell, and we're actually inside of a meat ravioli. Are
you get
we
plus
ravioli filling?
That is upsetting.
Can you get
Why
a
do you
plus one
think
because
so
he's got a
controversial?
Sweetie on his side?
Okay, no, the real controversy
Just-
is, are we inside of a ravioli or are we inside of a sandwich?
Is this a
I would
taco?
say
Why am I in charge of this turd farm?
So
Hey.
sorry. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not sorry. I'm lying.
You don't need. You don't need to
lying.
roll for this. This is a building. This is not flesh or anything like that. This is a solid brick mortar building.
Neither ravioli nor sandwich.
The-
argument is settled.
Yeah, there's no oddness to the brickwork. I don't think, at least.
Oh, we would know.
Stairwell.
It wouldn't be hidden, love. We'd know.
Well, I mean, if you could hide it in the drywall, wouldn't you?
No. It's art. You display your art, you don't hide it.
Unless it's a trap.
Ah, there are more fun ways to set traps. So all that work and time it would take to create a building of flesh, that's not something you're just going to hide and use as a simple trap. No. You would know. You'd also probably be able to hear it. It is made of people.
Also,
Yeah,
probably
what is
the
that?
earwigs probably would have been like, oh yeah, no, the building's made of meat.
They're earwigs. They've got like 3 brain cells. I don't know.
I mean, they would probably know if it's wood or meat, though.
Yeah, like 3 brain cells is usually
Maybe.
enough for a bug to know meat.
I mean, I talked to a lot
I-
of. I talked to a lot of bugs, and a lot of their shit is like inedible and edible, and those are the two
I mean,
definitions.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, is the building edible or ain't it? Like that's enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, I understand your caution. Just to let you know, you would know if you were in a building of flesh. It would not be hidden, and you would be able to hear it as it's made of bodies.
Well, earwigs eat decaying plant matter, so meat would be inedible, as would these bricks.
Mhm.
But I
Right,
get
so-
what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yes.
I
this is as bad
personally
as
think-
the Barry eating the wall conversation. I need you all to know this.
Oh, if we was in
I
a
would
building
s-
made of meat, Barry would be so hyped. He'd be through that wall in an instant. You kidding me?
Oh, he's the exact guy we need for a building. All right.
So here's what I will say: what you probably have to worry about in terms of Samiti is more creatures such as we faced outside, or
Yeah.
pitfalls made of flesh, similar to what we faced in that in the lodge,
Oh.
or not the lodge, the Viper's Den. So watch where you step.
Oh.
I'm gonna transfer to my hands and feet, and like Spider-Man claws up a wall. I'm doing that, but on the floor with my ear to it, and I'm just listening as we go for pitfalls. I'll take
just
the
saying-
lead in that case.
Just the expression that comes over Hatfield's face does not come out of Hatfield's mouth. That Hatfield was suddenly considering the reality of a Zamitzi in a flesh house with some very strange coat hangers, but that is what just passed through Hatfield's mind.
I can also just listen for noises. Or if you want to crawl on the floor, that's also fine.
Well, yeah,
Um,
you could listen for that, and the first time anything loud happens, your eardrums burst. Up to you. Go ahead. Don't let
don't
me
get
stop
in-
you.
I don't get injured from it. It's loud.
You did say
You
that there
haven't
was
been
something
injured yet.
breathing. Do we
Mhm.
think that it was the thing outside?
Mm,
I'm
God,
not
I
sure.
hope so.
we could double check.
I mean, it wasn't exactly. I mean, it was like not alive, like usually alive, but it wasn't like it bled. It bled blood.
Mm.
It looked like
I
it needed
like
air.
her.
don't know. This conversation hurts my
Still
head.
had
You
to
reach-
breathe somehow.
You reach the bottom of the stairs, with Slip doing his best Kif Croker impression taking the lead. Turn the corner to see the source of the light. A single flickering candle nearly burned down to the wick. The flame makes you feel slightly ill at ease, but it is small and contained enough that the beast inside of you all remains calm. What does grasp your attention, though, are the collection of pictures of the city. A large map of the entire city with pins placed in various locations, and a pile of cushions and throws loosely placed in a corner. Under a plank of wood, haphazardly hammered into the wall, with 3 vials of thick vitae in each. Those of you with sense unseen can already see that the jars are emitting a very faint, choleric aura. What would you all like
Quick
to do?
question. Just as an arsonist, I have a couple of questions. The first one is that this candle is not, like, attached to anything that would immediately set the building on fire, as far as I
No.
can tell at a glance, right?
No, it's
Okay,
just
good.
been placed in the middle of the floor. It's one of those stupidly large candles, that goes for a week. That
Okay,
kind of,
that was my
that's not an
second
exact
question.
estimate, because this thing has been burned down. It's no way that you would have ever known how much it would have been there, because,
I will say that was exactly the question I was about to ask, is roughly what size is this candle, and is it possible to estimate how long it's been burning? So,
at least, days and days
Yeah.
and days kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
massive fucking base and things.
roger that. As the resident arsonist, I had to ask.
What would you all like to do?
Could
Well-
I? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
By all means.
No,
I'm
you-
gonna crawl over to the cushions and become a ferret as I search for things under them, on top of them.
Wits and awareness, or intelligence and investigations, please, Kif.
Can I take the vials
Yes.
of blood? Okay.
Yeah.
Could I perhaps investigate those vials of blood?
You absolutely can. For wits or intelligence plus occult. Slip, sticking with it, or would you like a reroll on any of those?
I will re-roll 2 of them.
Can I give a +1 on
3.
the occult roll?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yes.
ask because I was gonna take them anyway.
You can have a +2. Slip,
Oh
Among the-
my god.
Oh my god! Well,
this is going to
Well,
be very fun.
I just got.
Just re-roll the one. Just re-roll the
11.
one. Just re-roll the one.
Yeah, sure.
It's-
I'll re-roll the one.
That's not going to get rid of the messy crit, though.
that's
Is it
not
not?
getting rid of that.
Oh, because it's a 10 on the 100.
Then I will not fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter at this point. We go feral.
You know what? The
Yeah.
dice have a story to tell.
Yep,
And-
I
Yeah.
agree.
I didn't realize
And
it was
I
from the
mean-
hunger. Yeah.
11.
The dice are sat here going, you know what, Shiv? I got this. Let me fuck them up. Slip! Among the pillows and throws is an old sepia photo of a well-dressed man. The fashion is extremely outdated, nearly 200 years out of date, but it still strikes you as lavish. The thing that stands out most of all in this photo is this thin man's horrific smile. Ardala, sorry. This is Kindred Vitae. It is old. It is more than days old. It is likely 7, at the very least, days old. But there is, for it to still remain and have an aura, there's something about this Vitae. It's not necessarily particularly potent, but there is something abnormal, but in a positive way about it. Unfortunately for you, however, you don't get much of a chance to relay this, as the beast inside of you is screaming. Your comrade has died. There's possibility that Zamitsi and Tremere are working together, and here you are, standing in the remains of something. And the beast screams at you to punish anyone seen to transgress against your personal creed, taking their blood as of just vengeance for the crime. For the remainder of the scene, you must slake at least one hunger from anyone, friend or foe, that acts against a conviction of yours. Failing to do so results in a 3 dice penalty to all of your rolls until the compulsion is satisfied or the scene ends. If you feed from a kindred, which you're gonna, most likely, your bane will kick in. You are suffering from the Banu Hakim compulsion judgment.
Okay. Fuck. Okay, several things.
Also, you said there was a map?
Mm-hmm.
Of the city, right?
I would like to look at this map.
I would like to put these vials away so they don't get drank or broken, etc. Can I put them in?
I'm gonna. Slip's gonna Smeagol his way over to Acheron and Ardala and show them the photograph.
Look at this photograph.
I didn't know. Look what Snip found. Did Snip do good?
Amazing.
Snip do good.
When I look at this photo, do I recognize the man in the photo?
Nope.
Do I recognize the man
Nope.
in this photo?
Okay. Question.
Failed. Wits investigation.
Surroundings. Cool. In the fucking
Me?
photograph.
You.
Okay.
Who?
You cut out a little
Oh,
bit, so
okay.
I'm making sure.
Sorry.
So, question here. The surroundings in the photo. Is he standing on a city street? Is he standing somewhere here? Like, do you know what I mean? What is the environment that he is in?
He is sitting quite plainly on just a regular old chair with a plain background. Acheron, you are, no offense, old enough to know this is an authentic Victorian age photo. It's a map of the city, Hatfield. Someone
Yep.
stuck some pins in it. That's not
Yep.
a very good way to keep a map up.
Nope. I'm not familiar enough with the Anarch and Camarilla territories to know if these pins have any significance. Nope, I'm just looking at this map like, yep, that's definitely a map.
Cool. Fuck. God damn it, Shiv. Okay. So looking to fucking horrendous smile, right? Is like the most defining feature of this person.
Absolutely horrendous smile, yeah.
Because of my age. Okay. So let's keep this in mind. Because of my age.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have heard of a rumor involving someone with a horrendous smile? A memorable smile?
No.
Okay. But I can identify that, like, this is, not only is this, like, a genuine Victorian photo, but, like, definitely before my time. Because you said, like, maybe 200 years old. So, like, I can readily identify, like, oh, this is before me.
Yeah.
In my time in the city. Okay. Well, unfortunately, Slip, I cannot recognize who this is. They are from before my time, but that is a genuine photo of the era. Victorian, based on his clothing.
Yo, you folks who know things, there's a bunch of pins in this map.
Oh,
Um,
right.
I have a question, Jim.
Yes.
As I see this picture, and right now nobody here in this group is giving me I wanna punish you right now and suck you dry. You know, everybody's doing their job, everybody's doing it well. I have
Give
no
it time.
problem.
Only a matter
Give
of
it
time.
time.
Yeah, give it time.
But we have found this picture. I would like to know, can I use the fuck is it the name of this shit? Illuminate the trail of prey on it.
Show me the details.
I love that
Oh shit!
ritual so much. It's such a good ritual.
What's a ritual?
It's a ritual.
Yes,
It's,
it is a ritual. There you go.
Yeah.
As of right now, we have the time, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It has a weird difficulty that I have a Tremere that used to use it a lot.
As that's going on, and I've mentioned to Slip that I don't recognize who this is, I am going to walk over to the map.
Who would
that
you
Hatfield is
hang on?
looking at.
Who would you be trying to find with it?
The weird smile person. I just need to see by face.
I will save you some time. It won't work. we can say that you did the ritual and all this sort of thing. I am not going to make you go through the dice rolls, because that's going to be I'll be taking the piss. The result will just be, it can't find him. That means he's dead.
So, I mean, the out-of-game question, sort of on behalf of Fenicia here. Are there ways, like, with that ritual, are there ways to hide yourself from such a ritual? No. Okay, so he most definitely is dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, maybe, you know.
Yeah, that's why. That's the whole reason I'm not going to make you do a dice roll, because if I sat here and said that's an automatic failure, it throws you off. It throws you on the complete wrong track. It will have succeeded, and it will just go.
Okay.
Farm up north with all the other kindred that don't exist anymore. You can't visit.
All right.
Cool. I'm Akron's gonna be looking at this map.
I was gonna look at it too.
Yeah, for flavor, however, you see, like, anyone who's looking at Acheron, you can see that there are, like, again, for flavor, so I'm not doing, like, a specific roll or anything, but you can see that, like, the corners of their mouth are, like, just very slowly splitting open to mimic the look of that person and it's essentially the intention here is that, like, this is Acheron committing that person's visage to memory in case they ever have to borrow it. And so you can see just, like, parts of their body will randomly, like, morph into, let's say, maybe, I don't know if this person has broader shoulders, but just imagine, like, broader shoulder, you know? And then we'll come back to how they normally look. So it's just, like, a little bit of, like, a mystique moment, you know? Of, like, just
was
kind of
watching Acheron's expression just to see if the pins in the map meant anything to him, and was not expecting that.
Also,
They're
two
just looking at it
very
from a
different
place
people,
of
you know.
Horrified fascination.
Riss is out here being Mystique, and I'm like, yeah, you're the fucking T-1000.
Either way, you know? But yes, looking at this map, does the pins and such hold significance? Again, keeping in mind how long I've been in
It's an investigation.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a +1 because Ardala is looking over your shoulder.
Okay.
Very fucking, like...
Better
What
be
are
doing
you
your
doing?
fucking
Yeah,
job.
Waiting for any of us to step wrong.
Yeah. What was the role? It was investigation and what?
Wits and investigation.
Wits and investigation. Can I convince you for an intelligence and investigation?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. We roused. We will be gaining a hunger after this, but 'twill be worth. Hopefully. We are going to re-roll.
Okay. You do have a free re-roll from last week from RJ still, by the way.
Oh, I do? Is it okay with everyone if I use it?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Wonderful.
Please don't keep banking them. I have to sit here and track that, and I'm not going to do that anymore.
Don't worry about it. I'll trust them for us. I normally do.
It defeats the purpose of the re-rolls, you know, because it ruins it for other people.
Yeah.
If there's a specific roll that comes up at that time and someone wants to do it, it might be on cooldown because someone banked something earlier, so that's all.
Nice.
Fuck my life, Acheron. Okay, well then. Each of those spots is the location of a house that Banu ghouls used to live in until they exploded. You will also see from the photos that show all the locations that the very few Banu themselves that have gone missing from. It seems the Banu are clearly being targeted.
Yeah, you will see Acheron pull out their sketchbook, and they're redrawing this map and marking off the spots of these houses. And then Acheron will relay this and say, Ardala, it seems that the Banu Hakim are being targeted. You see these pins, every single one of them belongs to a house, perhaps a safe house of a Banu Ghoul. Ones that have been already taken out. This is for lack of a better word, a hit list.
I have had my fangs out since my compulsion came out. I am like hissing like a fucking angry animal. Like I've been just like.
Absolutely, I support it.
Go
ahead, Slim.
This photograph, if this was a kindred, they were older. The person we are looking for... Yes, but the person we are looking for might have been a child of this individual, or the sire of this individual. We need only probably ask an older kindred if they recognize this. Maybe Pandora, or your father.
The Scourge, perhaps?
Or the Harpy.
I think because this is a Banu issue, that perhaps bringing the photo to the Banu would be wiser.
Sure.
They may have had interacted with them before, plus we do need to let them know that their ghouls are actively being targeted. Not just themselves, but their ghouls as well. Each of these locations seem to specifically be ghoul homes for the Banu.
Sure. Shall we head over there now then? Or did we want to check somewhere else first?
We are going there now.
Rami,
Let's go.
Yeah.
as they all decide to leave, you are suddenly filled with a vision. Each and every single one of you lies dead, drained, diablerized. You're missing something in this room. Something very important. 3, 2, 1, and you're back in the room.
Rami.
Very good. She's gonna like grab, maybe assuming you're the closest one because she was at the map. Just kind of grab your arm for a second. We're missing something. I don't know what. I just saw all of us dead.
Okay. All right. Let us search the room more thoroughly. Find what we need, and then we will head straight to the Banu Hakim. I do want to take a look at this.
Are you on the camera?
Yes, baby. I do want to take ghost children. I want to. Don't worry about it. I'm being haunted by ghost children.
Great.
Don't even worry.
Great.
Yeah.
Take the milk to us, okay?
Yes. Here. Take this. Hold on. I'm so sorry, you guys.
How dare you be such a good fucking mother? Jesus Christ, we will never forgive you.
Say my attention is drifting irresistibly back towards the candle.
Right. So, cool. I want to. Do I want to do this? Fuck. Okay. Yeah. I want to. Do I want to look?
Tell us what you want. What you really, really want.
Vials. Right. Do we? I don't. If this is too metagamey a question, you don't have to answer it. Did we get all the information that we needed out of the blood vials?
Yes.
That were found. Yes. Okay.
And I have
Okay.
them.
So. Oh, wonderful.
Here's
okay.
a question. What you said when you were first describing the room that there was like stuff around the candle. What was that again?
No. Single
didn't you?
single
Okay.
flickering candle nearly burned down to the wick. Flame makes you feel ill at ease. Then it was throws, pillows, plankets of wood.
Right.
I'm gonna
Okay,
just
right.
start looking around the room and like throwing things.
Oh yeah,
See what
I'm
else I-
100% like, oh, what's under this plank of wood? Oh, hey, another earwig.
Hold on. Okay. So my.
Well, I could give Rami a
don't
roll
know.
if you'd like.
I don't know. I mean, sure. I don't
I'll do
know
it, yeah.
how
Dex
to
awareness.
what this fucking.
Dex.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're throwing things around the room.
All right.
I
I
don't
could roll it
know.
instead.
I can do it.
What?
I have decent. I can do it.
I don't know what this role would be. My intention is to use my knowledge of like occult things, of fucking old vampires keeping things in weird spots.
I did pry the
Safekeeping.
floorboards.
I mean, I don't want to ruin this moment because that's a good idea, but Rami's found it.
Okay, wonderful. Then never mind.
Rami, You give one last rummage around the room, finding, amongst a piece of debris, hidden away on purpose, a copy of a book known as the Grave War. It's not an authentic copy, likely a copied tome that is considered safe to distribute among the Tremere, but it will allow anyone that has blood sorcery to learn a ritual. However, only one person can use this. Good luck fucking arguing with Ardala about that.
Yes, because we all have blood sorcery here.
Mm.
It's okay. I'll fucking do it.
Oh, okay. Akron is
Great, we're having a book club after all.
Akron's a little antsy just because sees the mood that Ardala is in and is like, we have limited time, because always in the back of Akron's mind is keenly aware of the Banu inability to control themselves after they've had a sip of kindred blood, and is like, not me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So that book has been displayed and I'm sure divulged, right? Would I know anything about the Grave War?
Intelligence and occult, please.
Kind of weird something like that'd be left behind, huh?
Right, which is why I want to look at it, even though it's not an original copy. What you said, intelligence and occult?
Yes, please.
I'm looking at it too, so if you want to add
With a
a
plus one.
maybe. Yeah.
You know, this
We
is the
will-
second time they've left something real weird to leave behind. This in the stake. I don't like it.
Much better. We've added willpower.
Book of the Grave War, the original, is actually one of the very first things to have caused the pyramid to fracture. It was in the hands of House Kana, and they rebelled before the pyramid actually fell. And it is said that they found the means to break the blood bond and the pyramid within the pages of the Book of the Grave War.
Okay, so with that knowledge, this is so before the Tremere fell, as in Vienna?
As in before the pyramid fell, before Vienna was attacked. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
So I
why
would
it's
divulge
so
this.
significant, because this was proper Tremere. Proper Tremere pyramid shit. And House Kana
Okay.
got this book and were like, you know what? We're not in the pyramid anymore. And they weren't.
Fun
Okay.
fact, Karna's lore sheet gives you access to this book.
Amazing. That is really good to know. Okay, so I divulged this information to the group. That, just that whole thing, letting everybody know what this book is, its significance to the Tremere, and the sort of kind of like fractured houses of Tremere. That there's Tremere proper, Karna, and then
Goratrix and
Ipsissimus?
Ipsissimus.
Yeah. And I let them know of all of that. That way everybody's sort of on the same knowledge base.
Trash. Oh, trash. I'm gonna I wanna read through the blood or whatever, the blood sorcery ritual. What ritual is it?
It is any that you would so like that is appropriate for your level.
Which I think is any,
yeah.
because you have cultured blood.
Yeah.
The way I like to do
any-
rituals is usually you get something at character creation, blah, blah, blah. But if you want to learn more, you have to go and find someone to teach you it. Or you find the Book of the Grave War that randomly has the exact ritual that you would like to learn in it. Hey, isn't that a coinky dink?
So this is like essentially like a copy of a grimoire is what we're looking at.
Okay.
Now, oh, man. Okay, I don't know if this has any significance, but I would speak about the visions that the group has experienced in the Chantry, and how there was an individual whose face we couldn't see. What are the chances that perhaps our smiling man is that individual? And
You know, I'll
perhaps
say
the
that-
person they want to bring back?
thought did cross my mind that, faces and faces.
Mm-hmm. A smiling
Also,
man.
I cannot understate how weirded out I am by the fact that these people just keep leaving these things lying around. Like, if the book is that big of a deal, why would you just leave it here? If the steak is that big of a deal, why would you just leave it here? I don't like it.
Well, that's the thing. This is merely a copy of this, but this is not the original.
Well, yeah, no, but the it's knowledge is knowledge, and knowledge is power is the thing.
I agree, absolutely. Now, this book explains the ability to make the steak. This would have been among those rituals. And Acheron would be like looking through, and if the ritual to make the steak is in here, like with the runes and stuff, that particular ritual is in here, would sort of show it off and be like, this is where they would have gotten the knowledge.
I guess the point I'm making is I don't really like that whoever it is that keeps threatening our lives is also handing us weapons.
Right, well, they're clearly very confident.
Or if they're trying to get us to do something for them. Like,
that's very possible. Look, the thing with the Tremere, right, is that they are, war crimes doesn't cover what they are capable of doing, right? It's not a big enough umbrella. If their focus is to bring back this individual, who I'm willing to bet is this smiling man, they'll use whatever means necessary and be confident enough in that individual's power to not care where they leave things about.
I just want to make sure that if, I'm somebody's pawn, I at least know about it. I don't want to be doing anybody's dirty work because I'm an unwitting idiot here. Like, I just want to raise that idea so that it can get discussed and hopefully dismissed.
Right.
Yeah. Plus, you're not a pawn. You're a rook.
Is there anything
That's
left
right. I'm
in this
moving
room?
very straight lines.
Is there anything left in this room of interest? No. Okay. I believe we've covered every inch of this particular place. I think our best bet is to go to the Banu Hakim and divulge this information.
Yes. We need to go there, report to them, give them the photograph so they may identify this individual, and we also need to turn that stake into them to be used or destroyed.
Acheron says nothing to that and says to Ardala instead, your sire, how long has he been in the city?
How long has Mordred been in the city?
Like, would he have still been the Scourge or around when I was alive? Or, well, I'm still alive, but you know what I'm saying.
Mordred is pretty old, I believe.
Yeah. I just want to, sort of establish timeline in that way. Because I want to avoid going to the tower at all. I would like to just go to the
An exact year is unknown, but it is commonly known to be centuries rather than just years.
Okay, wonderful. So he's been around long enough that we could show the picture to him. Or
the problem with that is
that
Mordred does not speak.
Okay, but there are, I imagine, ways that Ardala is able to communicate with him.
I do like the idea that you're going to go out of your way, outside of the city limits, without permission, to find the Scourge and say, do you know who this is, please?
Right.
Have you seen this boy?
Well, here's the thing, though, is we've got his daughter with us, so I'm willing to bet that he's at least willing to talk with her.
I'm not.
I know how to talk to Daddy.
Right, you see what I'm saying? Like, I think they have got a great relationship, and so I don't think we need to make any extra stops.
We could also simply ask the Primogen of the Banu Hakim would probably be just as good.
Are they old enough to know who this person is? or rather, the better question is, have they been in the city long enough? Because you can become primogen and have only been in the city for however, a few years.
Well, the
idea is
Banu
to show it to
Hakim
someone
are
who's-
steeped in tradition, and they all had to vote on this individual. So I would assume, they don't just give the reins over
Right.
to a nobody.
Right.
But also, again, Pandora's going to know also, probably.
I cannot stress to you enough how I would rather go to a Banu Hakim since this is directly affecting them. Quite frankly, it has nothing to do with Pandora and everything to do with the Banu Hakim. Their people are dying. Their ghouls and their kindred dying. So let's go to Banu Hakim first. If all options are exhausted, fine. We'll go to Pandora. You'll go to Pandora. But Banu Hakim first.
That could be arranged, yes.
Akron is like the most stoic in this moment. It's just like
You'll be able to leave, head back through the dense overgrowth safely. Your compulsion is now over, Ardal. The beast fading away as you
I'm
are
so
now on
fucking
the right track.
pissed.
Oh, you can be absolutely 100% pissed. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. And as you're about to enter the car, Slip, a scraggly-looking, near-rabid fox, runs up to you. It holds a blood bag in the remainder of its teeth. And you can even see it wears a collar around its neck.
Ew. Get. Scoot.
It wraps itself
Collar.
around your legs and drops the blood bag at your
Fucking-
feet. And sits
Amazing.
down
Can I
in
look at
front
the
of
collar?
you. Yes, you can.
Thanks.
What does the collar say?
It says Mr. Scruffles, and it has a single V on the back.
I'll
Heart hands, heart hands, heart hands, heart hands, heart hands.
pick up the blood bag, and does it have any markings on it? Any writing? A name? A
Nope.
date?
Nope.
The fuck am I supposed to do with?
What do you think you do with a blood bag, you twat?
If you don't have iron gullet, you throw it in the trash or give it to Acheron.
That's fair.
I will take it. But I
Do you
won't drink
want this?
it. But I'll take it.
I
will
can't
take
do
it.
shit with it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
ew.
It jumps up upon you,
Stop.
Slip.
I do not. I let it fall to the ground.
It's not going to stop
This is
jumping.
a friend of yours.
What is this?
It's got mange or something.
Sure,
You.
it's fine.
Can you
You love
communicate
animals.
with it? It clearly knows you.
It is a companion of someone I knew once, and I don't know how it's still alive, frankly, but,
They want to take it home?
I don't.
Yes.
I really fucking don't.
Gonna
Opens
squat
the door
down
so
and
the
kind
fox
of.
could get in.
Sure, that's yours now. That is yours now. That is not
Slip
mine.
out
that
here
is
breaking
yours now.
Scarlet's fucking heart. Oh my god.
Right, how dare you? You know what I mean?
Right?
Like you're.
That's how he.
She was
Even
your
when
sire.
even when she was
Sire.
there and we were there, I was like, ew, fucking ew.
It's
This
true.
isn't new. He was like, ew.
It's
What's wrong
true.
with that thing? Ew.
Says the man who's full of bees!
Yeah, that's why I'm so confused.
The fuck? They're adorable and they sleep holding each other's feet. This is not the same.
Opens the door so the little fox can join us, and Mr. Scruffles can be our little house mascot. He's
It hops
wonderful.
in and it
He brings back some
curls
blood.
up. And at this point,
Love it.
we will take a break. While I recover from thinking I had a snake that was in the room and it was just a tie I threw across the floor in frustration earlier.
Wow.
Ardala in this moment and says, all right, so here's what we are looking at. We are looking at the Tremere essentially having a hit list on Banu Hakim safe houses for their ghouls and taking them out systematically using an ability that is both within the Tremere and the Banu Hakim. So that should questions be asked, it could very well be brushed off as perhaps Banu Hakim are cleaning house, dealing out punishment to their own, who seem unworthy. I am struggling with understanding why a Samiti would be involved with Tremere at all. None of us are inclined to be friendly to the clan, as they are usurpers.
And also, that's something, it's sticking in my brain, I tell you. I don't know much about things, but everybody hates the Tremere, and if you was gonna pin anything on anybody, it'd be them, because everybody would believe it hands down. Like, it'd be a hard thing to frame them with all the stuff we got, but weirder things have happened.
You're not wrong, as much as I hate to say it, but it just seems... You can learn things that are not natural to your clan. As far as I know, the only Samiti for a long time that has existed within Oxford has been myself, formerly my sire, and the Baron. My sire is no longer in Oxford. It is only me and the Baron. Could the Baron have possibly learned an out-of-clan discipline and has now started up this issue in which to create some sort of infighting within the tower, especially with a clan as powerful as the Banu Hakim? Quite possible. However, the kind that we discovered upon finding your brother mentioned he will rise. And at first my thought was Mithras, because he has a tendency to not want to remain dead.
Yeah?
Already on the way,
Style,
Hatfield.
Yeah, I don't think this is his style. He's got other things going. Not saying that he doesn't have
It's
multiple things going,
not.
but it don't seem like his style.
I mean,
Hatfield,
It's
you're
not.
my one and only. Why do you have to push me away?
The eyes are rolled, a face is made, but Hatfield says nothing.
However, for me, what makes it very much not within Mithras' realm is he's got no love for the Tremere. And he would... He didn't lack knowledge in others who were capable of blood sorcery, who he would probably deem far more worthy.
More than that, this was
Of dealing
something
with.
that, for once, the voice in my head was being helpful.
Good to know.
I have
Right,
an
so checks him off the list.
question for Hatfield. Could I maybe one day look inside your head?
You know, I'm
Not-
not terribly keen on that. I like my
I-
brain staying inside my skull.
I don't mean that way. I mean, like, your mental, like the mental part of your brain, like your thoughts.
Not physically looking at their brain.
Mhm.
Understood.
I want to see if I can hear what you're hearing. That's all. I'm just curious.
You know, you already did hear what I'm hearing once, and you didn't really like what you heard.
I know, but I'm just curious if it's a thing that other people can hear besides you. That's all.
And maybe we'll see.
Just sorry, I was thinking about it. Continue.
Right. So, this man, and I will hold up the photo and say, someone knows who he is. We'll find who. I wonder if this is not the person that they're trying to bring back. And if it is a Tremere, it's a very powerful Tremere, who could, talk about a way to reinstate the glory that is House Tremere. Or rather, the clan.
Are Tremere known for being particularly happy?
If I had some blood, I could tell. Or figure it out, at least.
I mean, we did find those 3 thingamabobs in the place. The thing.
I don't want to mess with them.
Small family of caitiff. Caitiff could do blood sorcery and flesh crafting.
I don't know. It's, of course, a possibility. I don't know how long caitiff could exist in this city without the Scourge finding them and removing them.
Yeah, well, a lot of things have been going on lately that folks haven't been catching. So whatever's going on here, like, we got some bats scuttling around. We got thin bloods doing stuff. There was a stomach in the other house. Like, Elysium got hit the other day. Like, obviously folks have managed to slip through security, so I ain't too confident putting my money there.
Okay, but it's really a matter. Okay, let me just get this out. So we found this book, right? That is responsible for the fracture of Clan Tremere, right? And if they want to restore a Tremere that was powerful enough, that could rally them all together, it could be a way to reconnect the pyramid, and act whatever they've wanted to enact. And it makes me wonder if perhaps the plague in its original form was not that of, blood sorcery origin.
I did
and has just been expounded upon.
I did just have a thought. It ain't a great thought, and I know nobody's gonna like it, cause but I'm still like, the fact that it's Tremere and the fact that they keep handing us this stuff, I can't get the thought that maybe it's a real elaborate frame job somehow. And is there a reason somebody would want the Tremere, to stay gone, especially now that they're coming back? Like, a guy pops out of existence out of nowhere and suddenly folks start exploding. It could be the impetus in the other direction if somebody's trying to get everybody else to declare all-out war and exterminate the folks who are coming back. Like, I'm just saying.
I mean, literally every other clan has been betrayed by Clan Tremere, including Clan Tremere. So, who
Their
fucking
list
knows?
of enemies is quite long. Right.
Yeah, everybody. Put my name on that list, right?
Right, exactly. I mean...
Yeah, I know I'm at a list for the devil here, but somebody's gotta.
Yeah. I mean, could be.
Yes. I am rational enough to agree that is a possibility. But...
I mean, it could also be...
Yeah, I know Occam's razor is probably not an elaborate frame job, but it crossed my mind and I gotta get it out of my head, otherwise it's gonna echo around in there forever and drive me nuts, so...
I mean, if we're putting everything on the table, if we're putting all possibilities down, who was Mithras's biggest competition?
No
the
one.
Tower. If there was anyone, it was the Tower. Who has moved in and seized the most power?
Tower bent its knee to me in my day. I never let them onto the island.
Now all of a sudden, if he was to come back, pre-gaming the Tower by... I mean, the Anarchs are uniting against the Tower. The Sabbat is uniting against the Tower. We've got Kine uniting against the Tower. These people could all be unwitting pawns of Mithras, softening up the Tower. Then he comes back, annihilates whatever's left. Who knows?
Gonna say that don't feel like his vibe, but what do I know?
I can understand that line of thinking. However, the reality of, in terms of power that Mithras has, is he wouldn't have to. He's got a cult. Yeah. And that cult is not going to be filled with just very basic ability kindred. They're going to be those who have great power within. So
I get the distinct sensation he'd prefer the direct approach in handling things, rather than all of this running around.
I do like that one, Hatfield. We'll keep that one alive.
Well, we don't know what he would need to come back. And if he is trying to craft Hatfield into something, then this could all be a catalyst for Hatfield. It could all be for Hatfield, a crucible.
Hatfield laughs and then just, I don't like that thought.
No.
Look, Mithras
Very possible.
was a genius. It took a whole pack of lupine and some jumpity upstart to get him finally.
Interesting. Okay.
In the meanwhile, I'm writing all of this down, by the way.
It doesn't ring. I don't know. It just doesn't ring Mithras to me, and perhaps there is a bias there, as I.
And that's why we'll never see it coming.
Fine, think what you will, but just so we have all bases covered here. Actually, I am gonna pick up the picture and point it at Hatfield. And the intent here is to see if Mithras recognizes who this is. Without me saying out loud, Hatfield is, it just holding it up and,
Hatfield
trying to see
stares
if
at
there's
it
anything.
blankly and waits for comments.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
just
that
waiting
smile
for
is
anything.
horrific.
Wonderful.
Nods politely, says nothing.
So still holding it up, I say, right, so I think once we discover whoever this is, it might give us a better lead, but I can see the Tremere in such small numbers as they are now, but having very similarly to Mithras, probably a very dedicated cult of sorts. Trying to find a way to bring this individual back. It's not unheard of.
Hey, Hatfield, can I try something real quick?
What kind of something?
Just a conversation. Just talking with my words.
Okay.
All right, cool. I'll slide right over next to Hatfield.
You're just kind of looking at him like, oh, all right.
Hey, Mithras, can I talk to you for a minute?
Oh, finally, one of them has enough initiative to actually talk to me.
Field relays this, just sort of playing spirit box here.
Don't be so polite. What does it want?
This isn't, this all isn't some great master plan to either bring you back or thwart you coming back, is it?
Did it really ask that? While I'm stuck inside your head, does it really okay, that's fair. But no. Blood sorcery is something I have mastered, but it was not something I used primarily. And I certainly wouldn't want to wipe out. And I certainly wouldn't want to wipe out my own kind. Would I wipe out my own potential subjects? Our potential subjects.
What is he saying?
Yeah, that last line does not get relayed.
Oh. All right. Okay.
As I said, it's not really Mithras' style.
Yeah.
Especially, if he's had a good relationship with the majority of the clans in order to maintain control of Oxford in the manner in which he did. It just doesn't make any sense for him to attempt such a thing. However, my mind lingers on the Tremere and trying to understand why Smeetsy would get involved with the Tremere at all. It just does not connect.
I mean, there is the thing, like, it might not be Smeetsy, it might not be Tremere. Or they could just have some real extenuating circumstances.
It could be a matter of out-of-clan knowledge.
Do you think if we found out what kindred the vials, whose blood that is, does that matter?
Yeah, that's probably the next lead, like... Even
I
on
could
the
drink
bonus
it.
map.
Well, right.
I mean,
I
that
could-
could
don't-
be. It could be
Don't
Banu
just drink it.
Hakim
I'm
blood.
not going to. I'm saying I could drink it and then try to connect with that person and see who it
Yeah.
is.
Be careful doing that, like, for all you know, it could be infected.
That's why I'm gonna wait until we're at
This
the Haven. I'm not doing it right now.
Okay, first thing though is before you get blood anywhere near your mouth,
I'm not going
there is
to.
of course possibility of infection, but also blood bonds. Can we stop trying to just, I mean,
I'm already blood
Y'all
bonded.
love
You won't
to
be
bond.
blood bonded if you taste blood outside of the body.
Yeah, it's not directly from the source.
You should know that.
wonderful.
Actually,
I should.
Calliope did write in their notes that there is an ability that you can learn to do that. But
There are
that's
several
exactly the thing.
sisters and brothers who can identify better as far as what qualities are in the
don't-
blood.
I don't need to
I mean,
identify
yeah,
it. I can
like-
look through their senses and see what they are.
Unless they're dead.
Well, unless they're dead.
Unless they're
Unless
dead.
they're
But my-
dead, of course.
So my thing is because I understand that, for example, the Sabbat, right? When they do their very special ritual in which they all bond to each other, it doesn't require them to necessarily feed directly from each other.
No.
As far as I understand, the ritual, they put it within a fucking, a chalice or whatever, and share it amongst themselves, and the blood bond is solidified anyway because that's a very specific ritual for it. Which is why
What
I'm
the fuck are you
saying.
talking about? That's not real.
That is a specific
You know what?
ritual.
Oh
It is
shit, it's
specifically
real? That's
for-
crazy.
I'll tell you,
that-
all this stuff's just going over my head,
within-
so...
Within that circle and within the parameters of that ritual, that will happen. And it will be a slightly different bond than an actual blood bond. So that is
Right.
not
and
the
so
same.
what I'm saying is,
It is not the
what
same.
I'm saying is, don't take any fucking chances. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, let's maybe be smart about that bit. Or else you'll start hearing fucking voices in your head too.
Nod.
But going to just clearly we need to find out who this is. Right? It's very important. Now, my question to you, ST, right, on this map that I redrew with the pinpoints of everything, right? Are there Banu Hakim spots, right, that were on this map that haven't been hit yet?
Nothing yet. That doesn't make sense. No.
No. Okay. So all the marks on here are places that have been hit.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm going to turn this sketchbook over to Ardala, and I'm going to say, I want you to take a look at this. All those out that are marked off are places where Banu Hakim ghouls and Banu Hakim have died by this situation. I want you to take a look at this map, and you don't have to say if you don't want to, but check if there are locations on here that have Banu Hakim ghouls and or Banu Hakim that have not been hit yet. Because those are the people that are at most risk at this moment.
Sure.
Look at this as a proverbial hit list.
Can I do I need to roll on anything?
No, I don't think you need to roll. I mean, the ones that are on there at the moment, they've all already been struck, obviously. The ones, the actual Banu Hakim, of which there's only, I think, 2, 3 now with Altair dead, which is included on that map. There's no extra ones. Any Banu could potentially be a target, from yourself to the Scourge to Kulal.
I relate
It
that.
is interesting. It is interesting to note then that Ardal was his name? Ardal? The
Altair.
one that was just hit? The Banu
Altair.
Altair, sorry. Altair. Altair was marked off on here. That means that the murderer went back to that location to mark him off on this map. So, you possibly put some at risk should you try to station someone there to see who possibly will come back to this location. But
Wonder
that
if
is
he
an
knows
option.
we went there. I mean, he's gonna when the big old meat guy is dead.
So it's not going to be a secret that the place was hit. You know what I mean? And on further inspection, 3 blood vials, a map, their book of blood rituals and whatnot is all gone. So that either will slow them down or make them work even faster and people are going to start dropping like flies.
Or it's some kind of elaborate trick and we're playing right into their hands by taking this stuff. Like, that's an option too.
At this point, anything is possible. We need to find out who this is. Obviously, relay all this information to your clanmates, so that everyone is made alert. We've got a very serious problem. There's a plague about and a war that has now kicked up several notches. And possibly returning blood gods.
Scribble, 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 scribble.
The list of problems is fucking long, mate, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I filled up 2 pages already.
Yeah, I will say Hatfield's like ever so slightly just like side-eyeing those notes that have been taken, like, yeah, no, I'm in the official report, not terribly keen on that, but there's nothing we can do about it.
On top of which, there's the fucking Setites, which I guess you can throw in with the Anarchs, but like, that's a whole issue in and of itself.
There's many.
Oh, and the Sabbat. I forgot. Yes, and the Sabbat. So, it's looking fucking bleak.
And Ebony's coffee table.
Unconcerned, we can buy her a new one.
I mean, we got the coffin table.
Right.
Although
Which is probably
that's
more
kind of a concern too. Like, it did kind of, you know, pop up and summon a dude from the walls.
Do we have an official number of how many Tremere were within the chantry of Oxford before they all vanished?
Yes, allow me to do some quick maths.
Yeah.
Gotta do those
Anarch or
maths.
Camarilla?
One of which,
Yes.
sure.
$15.
15.
5 of which are Camarilla.
And all 15 were in that chantry?
5 were Camarilla and 10 were Anarchs.
Correct.
So different chantries.
Correct. The
All of them got sucked into
details of the disappearance is not known to you, but you all know that all the Tremere disappeared at the exact same time. Anarch and Camarilla.
Presumed that they are all lurking in the pocket dimension in our drywall.
Amazing.
Van Bjoren did say before you joined the Kotri Ardala that they enacted this ritual as they came under attack by the Obsissimus.
And one of the concerns is that he cannot bring back his people without also bringing back the other people.
I will share that information with the group.
Okay.
Oh
and
no, the group
Obsessimus
the group is probably going to share that information with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we were the ones that experienced the vision of what that had.
Oh, okay.
You know,
but-
actually,
okay.
you know, on that topic,
No, I thought
what was
I
they
had
doing in the
that information.
pocket dimension again? Like, they was doing things there, right? This stuff goes over my head, but like, I know they was doing something, and it sounded big and important and weird.
It sounded like, from what I remember, he mentioned that they couldn't kill each other in there, so they were just hanging out.
Yeah, but like, there was something else in there, wasn't there? I don't know.
No, they were constantly
remember.
fighting each other, but they couldn't. No one could bring final death to the other. And Kindred, at the best of times, are very territorial. Tremere against Tremere, it's, yeah, you could leave them in there a million years and they're never going to agree on anything.
Yeah, so I mean,
here's my thing.
fuck them, leave them there.
Yeah, man.
The Abscessus, they are essentially like the Sabbat part of the Tremere.
They're the Anarch
they normally
Tremere.
fall into that.
Goratrix used to be
I know it's
Sabbat,
tough.
and now it's a new Goratrix. It is only Goratrix in name, and they've not officially really said if they're Anarch or Sabbat or what.
Goratrix the one
But they
that
were
stole
Sabbat
the
now.
thing in the vision we had?
Don't think it was.
I don't
know. I know.
Don't
There's
I
so
don't
many
believe
names, my
so.
notes aren't good enough.
Which thing was
Yeah,
stolen?
no.
I'll look in my notes. Don't remember what thing
oh
it was.
lord.
I will check. It was a while ago.
I don't know. In my mind, I'm thinking a book, but that could be because we found a
Just
book.
found a
I'm
book,
telling
yeah.
you, my blood got microwaved, so the rest of everything that happened in that weird
Yeah,
dream state kind of just out of my brain.
I know it's Saishno. I
I
have
will
to just
say,
skim through stuff.
during that time, they were also dealing with the Malkavian and looking at the manuscript, which
yeah, was
speaks of the plague.
the guy, the thing that got stolen in the... I don't know. My blood got microwaved.
I'm checking.
Right. So it's because that's where I discovered the location. The vision is how I found the location of the manuscript itself.
Yeah. I just remember the cover chase and then throwing the seat at a guy and my blood got microwaved. It was a real weird night.
You threw what at the guy?
Yeah, it was a tough time.
Remember, it was like chucking
was
the
a tough
headrest of the
time.
other car. It was...
I wasn't there.
It was.
Oh, weren't you?
It was. You
Oh.
weren't.
No.
It was the other Rami.
Yeah.
Okay. So incredible. All right. Oh, this is.
I love how Aldal is
huge
just sat there
fucking
going,
problem.
what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah, it's a fucking mess. It's what
I'm
it is.
taking
I'm not Malkavian, I swear.
Do not let them borrow my
None
car.
of it.
Ever.
Ever.
Oh,
Nobody's
yeah, well, we only did it 'cause it
touching
wasn't
my
our
Rolls Royce.
Okay.
I will not begrudge you a Rolls Royce, Ardala.
All right. So essentially, the Tremere were at some kind of war within each other. They were being attacked, and the way they decided to handle this, at least the Camarilla Chantry, did a fucking ritual in which they just cancelled out their entire clan from the city.
Did they
And
do that
place them
because
all
they
in
was
this
getting
pocket
attacked, or was they
dimension.
doing that already and then they got attacked and they just all happened to get, like, vacuumed into oblivion?
I imagine it was done with purpose, considering
Well,
how
yeah, but, like, was it with
Van
that
Buren came
purpose?
back.
Because, like, they wouldn't have all super glued themselves to each other intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
Hatfield, let me tell you a story. When I was the ruler of this country, for a brief moment I allowed the Tremere back in, much to my regret, though one of their number was known as Sri Sansa. His
Sri
haven
Sansa?
was in a pocket dimension.
Okay, the voice in my head is telling me that there was a guy, a Tremere dude with a haven in a pocket dimension.
What was his name?
The
Oh,
thing that I
Danny.
just said a second ago, I already forgot it.
Sri Sansa.
Sri
Sri
Sansa.
Sansa.
I swear I heard Santa day when you just said that. I just want you to know that.
No.
Did we
No, another
We don't
country
care
already
not.
killed Santa in our world.
did we talk about? Did you manage to get the name of the person that did that warding at the house?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the
Um,
scry. What was the?
Yeah, oh my god, I have to pronounce this name again. Elantridi? Is that it? Or am I pronouncing it very wrong?
Elontrades.
it's-
Alan Truday.
Yeah,
Was it
the spelling is
Alan
in
today?
the Discord. I don't
Alan
know.
Trede.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Alan today, that's what it was.
So that was the
Alan
caster.
What a
At
piece of
least
shit
we have a
name.
name. Does that ring any bells?
Not in the slightest. That's the first time we're hearing that name.
I will write it down in my notes. Alan Trede.
Blood sorcery from someone whose name Ardala does not know. Not good.
Nope.
Not
I mean,
good.
is any of this good? Have we ever had a good thing happen?
No, never. Not since I died. Not once. Never, not once. Not ever once. Not even once. Not even one time I almost had fun. It was terrible.
You don't think like your exes are like your girlfriend currently? Like none of those things have been good.
What?
None of your past relationships have been good, is what you're saying.
What?
You've never had a good time.
We're kindred. No, every relationship's toxic as fuck.
I've had a
They
good
keep
time.
doing it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think you
I
might
won't
be
lie,
an
I've had a great
outlier.
time as well. No, I've had a great
Probably.
time as well. It's about perspective, really.
Mm-hmm.
Some partnerships can be mutually toxic, hence positive at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Everyone's getting something.
know
out of
if
it.
that's how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even if I was enjoying my current partner, I'm here, plagued, nowhere near them, so no, not having a great time.
So, okay. Anyway, back on track here because
Sorry.
it's more important things than partners.
Rami.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
What?
Yes. So,
Did you say Rami? And then I go,
Yeah, I'm really confused.
Yes,
Why my name is just
How did
Yao.
we get on this topic? Partners aren't even Rami. Then just a hiss of irritation.
right. Yeah. Rami's how we got on the topic of partners.
I'm
It was
so
just
sorry.
an accusatory. I don't know why I made that noise either.
Yeah, it's okay.
I mean,
okay.
we can talk about
Okay.
partners. I'd be up for talking about partners.
I mean, in the end,
That is a person that is not here that can't talk about themselves. So you hush.
I mean, in the end, we've got like 80% of the pieces, and we can try the million different combinations. I don't
Yeah,
think we've got
too bad
enough.
that we can't see the pick on the front of the box.
Right? God damn it, we lost the lid. Rami's fault, obviously.
I don't think any of the pieces we got are corner pieces, so like who
My blame
Jesus.
blames for
Exactly.
things again. I have not
Look,
done
I'm
anything.
going through it, Slip. Don't ask me to be coherent right now.
All right, hey, listen.
Okay,
it's gonna
so-
be all right.
We're gonna figure this out. Let us speak to the Banu Hakim, give them the information they need, set them on high alert. Because a lot more people are going to die. That is guaranteed. But let us try to mitigate that number and on which side it falls on. We agree?
Yeah.
Not all at once.
Was we ever in disagreement?
GM, what was the name that Mithras said about the Tremere having the haven? Can
Sri
you spell it out?
SRISANSHA.
Nope. Nope. You.
Just type it in the chat.
Yeah, whatever you're saying, I did not write that in my notes. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that's why
Also,
I said
how
it immediately, so I knew I could convey it, but I
like start with an S.
I thought it was
No,
a T, that's
Shri,
why I was.
S.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Shri.
I've
Oh,
also been
okay.
hearing. I've been
Shri.
hearing tree. I've been very confused.
Yep.
Shri Sansa.
Tree.
Wonderful. Yes, literally. So, right, I mean, we're on our way to the Banu Hakim. I imagine we're getting close to the building.
Yes. Just tap dance for me while I find a picture of Sri Sansa.
Fantastic. Right, so, okay. Wonderful. You are right. There's not many ways that we can combine this to try to find more information. We've managed to squeeze as much as we could so far.
We've got lots of really, really tasty combinations. We just need a little fucking bit more to figure out which one.
Yeah.
I do want to say, as just a reminder of a thing that is on the board, is a person called Gemasik. Now, I know we're no closer to finding this individual or knowing what the fuck is going on with that, but they are on the board, and clearly of some import because almost everybody has at one point or another been looking for them. So just a thing to know, because these names that we're throwing out, they all kind of sound as if they're of the same naming convention.
Do they?
Does that make sense?
What?
No.
Culturally speaking, is what I'm saying.
No?
I don't know.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I don't see the I'm
Genesee,
sorry, Acheron. I
Street
do not.
Sunset.
No.
We'll discuss it
I was making.
at another time. I have ghost children speaking.
Well, that's
Damn, I
good
hate when
timing
that
because you
happens.
have just arrived outside the Banu Hakim Haven, finding a comfortable parking spot. Of course, for creatures of the night such as yourselves, there are places saved. I imagine that you would like to enter straight inside, pass by the man on the reception who stands, gives a polite bow to Ardala, and allows you entranceway into the main meeting auditorium, where you find Kulal standing underneath a dim spotlight, surrounded by stacks of benches and chairs. What would you like
I
to do?
will approach and do the usual bow with a kiss on the hand. And as I do that, I will legit just give Kulal the whole report so that he can take it in.
Yep.
And I'll just wait patiently for him to read it. I believe that this is something that, like, I'm gonna say that this is, like, I'm gonna put my own flair, but, like, he's the reason why we do ciphers. So he knows.
Yeah.
He was the one created the cipher.
Yeah.
So he can read through that and take it all in.
He reads it, and you of all people, Ardal, will know that he has finished reading it, and he is currently weighing up his responses. He is not one to blurt out a response emotionally. He needs to weigh up every single consequence, every single angle. And finally, what seems like an eternity to most of you, he simply responds with, "So, the Tremere working with the Tzimisce is your lead possibility at this moment."
It seems like it would be the most promising lead, but this collaboration seems a bit out of sorts, and also there are things that seem to just not make sense. Why is it our kind being targeted by them? There are a lot of questions and not many answers at the moment for us to be secure in our information.
The easiest solution would be that this is Van Buren, the rejected primogen of the Tremere, seeking out revenge against us, those he perceives as his enemies. However, this does not factor in the Tzimisce factor. Bollocks. Tremere would never
Correct.
work with the Tzimisce, and the Tzimisce would never work with the Tremere. No real
Exactly.
Tzimisce. We have more questions than we have answers at this point. We should also all be very much on guard. But we will not hide, we will not scurry away. We are far stronger than this. We will remain united, and we will do what we always do. Dispense justice. For there is many that are accused, and there are many that are guilty.
My
You
lord,
need to watch yourself, sister.
could I have? I'm gonna look at the group and ask for the picture of the man with the weird
Yeah.
smile.
Oh, yes,
Acheron
absolutely. Here
will-
you are.
Yeah. We'll immediately hand that over to show that.
And now we'll hand it to Claw as well.
He'll take it, and he'll look at it, turn it over. Authentic. Horrific smile.
Is it a
Suspect?
face that you know?
This face is not known to me. If you need
It is something that
identification of a kindred, despite age, you should speak with the Harpy.
That was our next move. I just
You will
wanted
find her at
to-
your haven. She awaits your return.
There is no noise. Like, no sound that, like, no verbal, like, no exclamations from Acheron. But you do hear the sound of several bones breaking. And then sort of reforming themselves. Just from the background. Suddenly I
Hatfield.
need to go walk my fish.
In your head, you are hearing that voice, and it is just saying, you should greet this primogen. Would you like to greet him, or would you like to resist Hatfield?
I would like to resist.
Willpower, difficulty 3, please. The time will come soon, Hatfield. Pandora awaits us. Make sure you speak to her at the very least.
Oh my god.
Well,
But the voice
then,
silences
we'll-
itself.
We'll head back, but before we go, there's one more matter to attend to.
The remains.
The remains are, if not already here, being transported by the Nosferatu.
They
I
arrived
called in for
here
them, but
hours ago. Your clan is very efficient at what it does. You have our gratitude. All of you.
Any way we can assist the Banu Hakim is essentially assisting the tower. Speaking
This
of
is
which, the implement used to kill your operative, we have it. It is yours to destroy, use, or allow us to keep.
Show me.
There's a silent moment of, like, if looks could kill, Acheron would have decapitated Slip in that moment. Like,
You've got a stake on you that
like-
can kill.
like there is a momentary desire of, I could kill him right fucking now. However, as covetous as Samitsi are, they're not stupid. So, with a just bombastic fucking side eye to Slip, we'll walk up to this very powerful Banu Hakim and present to them the weapon.
You'll place
It
it gently
is-
in. Please.
It is made from the ritual. It is a shaft of belated dissolution.
An extremely potent weapon. These runes are primitively carved. This is not one that has been made by a child of Hakim. These are the gross etchings of a Tremere. Or an amateur. Though this is, of course, an extremely advanced ritual, that does not necessarily mean their rune work is much to look at.
That it was what I thought as well, once I peered upon it.
As you have returned, our fallen brother, it seems only fitting that you may keep this weapon and use it in your quest. I hope it finds its way to the heart of the perpetrator. But if it doesn't, I hope it enables you to find the perpetrator. Use it wisely.
I will take pleasure in doing so. And we'll stick it back into the bag. I do have a... There is like this moment of like... If Acheron could like make... Well, they could do this, but this is not the appropriate moment. But if they could make their eyes go into the back of their head and look at Slip, they would, but they don't. They just put it back in their bag.
Acheron just suddenly sprouts full-on snail eye stalks, just for the spite of it.
I do have a question about this particular ritual. Is this specific wood needed for such a ritual, or is it just whatever is on hand? I understand.
It is.
Okay. All right. This is not something that is native to Oxford. It's something that would be further north. Whomever this individual is, at the very least, we know has either originated from there or is freely able to move about to go so far north to acquire such an item. You understand?
We will have our stock checked, counted.
All right. Yes, slips it into the bag, and then I believe I do. I have the. Who has the book?
I have the book.
It's Ardella, yeah.
Okay. Also, we found a copy of. Is it the Grave War? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Grave War?
Mm-hmm.
I will show it to Kula.
We found a copy of the Grave Wall. Clearly, it's not the original, but it does call into question how many of this particular grimoire exist.
Impossible to
who
say.
has access
House
to it.
Kana, when they broke away, published this book countless times, hoping to distribute it among their peers and break the pyramid themselves. Turns out they needn't have bothered.
Good to know. The amount of Tremere that have access to this knowledge has risen exponentially
Indeed.
then.
However, this is a mere copy, censored by the Tremere. They do not even trust their own sister with their own secrets. And they say it is Zamitsi that covered everything. But it is the Tremere that keep all of their secrets closely guarded to their chest, even from their own. A strange clan. It's no wonder we don't trust them.
There is a look of like not only agreement with him, but also this like very deep-seated hatred for the Tremere that I think like the coterie has seen obvious like glimpses of, but I think in this moment there's probably an understanding of like I say this with the preface of trigger warnings here, that if alone Acheron could commit essentially Cainite genocide, Salud, it would be against the Tremere. That's how deep the hatred runs.
Meaning every single kindred, including the Tremere, share.
Yeah. I believe we covered everything, right? We told them everything.
We do have also some blood samples.
Ah, yes, that's what it was.
Which we found, and I do know for a fact that they are kindred.
I want to keep them to make sure that they aren't infected with any of the variations of the plague that we found.
How many samples do you have?
3. I'm fine with giving you one if you want. Or
He's not going to say please, he's just going to open the hand.
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna-
apologize as a person
That's
for being
fine.
a cunt, but yeah.
that's fine. Yeah, I'll hand it over. I assume that's what you were doing. I'll hand one over.
He'll just,
If you have
put it up
anyone-
to the vague light. I
If
see.
you have anyone as well who could check that it is not plagued, I would hate for anyone to become infected simply for trying to find out more.
Yes, since our way of discovering it is to taste it, it would be better to prevent that. I can always bring one over after Rami checks if it is contaminated or not.
He is listening, but he's not looking at you. He is still looking through the dim light at it. And finally, he just...
And these aren't just
brings it
these are just regular vials, right?
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
nothing special about what they're held into. Okay. I didn't know if there was like runes on them or something.
No. One of you stepped forward.
Oh, I'll do it. I'm so curious.
Drink.
Alright, yeah, I'll drink it.
Yep. It is...
Another bone-breaking sound happens.
It is
I've been wanting to
stale.
drink it so badly.
It is stale, but despite being stale, this tastes amazing. This is like stale ambrosia. You may slake one hunger, and you may go below one.
Oh shit.
What do you feel, child?
Not hungry anymore?
I look at Kulal,
It
eyes
honestly
whiten.
tastes like nothing I've had before.
Akron is
Well, it
listening
is not
very
infected.
carefully.
Apparently not.
And
And
you
it
say
is
that
powerful enough to take
say
away
that-
the hunger.
And this taste, you say, unlike anything you've had before.
Yes, I mean, yeah, I don't recognize it.
You have given us much to consider. I will not say yet until I can give you a definitive answer. Will now leave us. Ardala, look after them.
I will.
And you, look after Ardala.
Of course. One last thing. Are we near like a desk? Like, is he standing in front of a desk, or something that I can put a map down
Not
on?
really, but if you want to walk, there's like seating auditorium things just lined around the whole thing.
Okay. One more thing that I just want to give to you to pass on to whomever. I placed down the map, as I've got a copy of it already, but I placed down the map and I say all of the parts marked off where the Banu Hakim ghouls that were taken out via this exploding of body. And also, your recent fallen brother is marked on here as well. We
Where
gained
did you
a journal.
acquire this?
We found it in this location, and I will point onto the map where the house we were at, to which we fought against a vault, which is several layers of problem.
I will also point
This-
the point in my notes where that is relayed as well.
This is the map referenced in Ardala's report.
Yes.
Yes.
He would be able to see like the pinpricks on it of where like the pins were at.
Give it to me, just for a moment, and wait here.
Hands it to him. All right, and hands it to him.
And he will walk away and disappear. One of the many hidden doors which you really can't see simply because of the way the light is. And as you have this moment alone, presumably, is there anything you would like to talk about?
Yeah, is there one of the hands like here, like in the room, or is it just
Yes.
Kulal in here?
Yes, there is.
I would like to walk over and, since this is a fairly basic ritual, ask if we have somebody that could teach me the blood walk ritual in here.
Man doesn't say anything. He merely acknowledges you and gives you a bow. You know that it will be arranged.
Yeah, just out of game. I'm just gonna use my experience points to get that one.
In this moment, Akron walks up to Slit and then just pinches and twists his nipple.
Okay.
Just imagining you reach and just get stung.
Ow.
That's fine.
What? You have it, and you're allowed to have it, and it's by rightly yours now. It is your property. You deserve it.
I still
This
want
is-
to get you back.
That's fair, I guess. But see, it's yours now. Correctly.
One thing.
No hiding
to
it
know-
like a magpie.
One thing to know about me is I don't need permission for things to be mine. When they are mine, they are mine.
Oh,
However, you
that's-
are right. This did gain us a favor. That's why I only pinched you.
All right, well, that's not how that works, but it's Zamitzi gonna Zamitzi. I get it. I get it.
You should know what that's like being an Nosferatu. That's how you feel about your secrets.
Lao
Sure.
will return. He has the map.
After I've given Slip a purple nurple.
Yep. And he will present it back to you, Acheron. And he will say, we have had someone look over this. It was fortunate we had one of my ghouls look over this. He did not survive the process. There was complications. You are after someone with extreme hatred. Extreme. Abandonment and vengeance drives them. Their mastery of blood sorcery surpasses my own.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there could be, like, an ounce of hiding the shock that
I'm also like
that
wide-eyed
they're
and like,
experiencing. Yeah, because that's a problem, you know, that this...
Lala is a fucking primogen, bro!
Right, exactly. That's why it's a problem, because it's like, wait a minute, you know? Okay. So shocked. Okay. And then says... Right. Okay. Is there... And forgive me if this is invasive in any way, but I am trying to piece together the puzzle, so to speak. Is there anything within your histories, an event to which the Banu Hakim would have been deeply involved to perhaps garner this person's hatred and vengeance?
We dispense justice. The problem with that is that justice is blind and people do not see their own guilt.
I don't disagree. I am trying to find the catalyst, because perhaps that can narrow the suspect pool down.
I wish I had more information for you. Currently, I do not.
Alright,
Rest assured,
we will continue.
I need you to be successful. Any information we find will be forwarded to you instantly.
And the same.
We
Return to you.
need to take stock. This changes things. Ardala, remain with this coterie. They will protect you, and you will protect them. Failure is not an option. Now, you must go into
It
the
never
night.
was.
Yeah, I think Acheron gives just a, incline of their head, and then we'll begin to head back out. When we get to the we're in the car.
You're not going to
with the
quite
Haven.
get to the car.
Oh, amazing.
I will have to interrupt
Okay.
you. I'm very sorry.
You're
Because
fine. You do what you're gonna do.
as you leave Banu Hakim Haven, you just hear the sound of someone shouting, "Gemma? Gemma?" And a young lady runs up to Rami. "Gemma! Where have you been?" And that's where we're going to call an end to this week's Oxford's Ashes.
The legendary Quadruple Rami.
I'm so fucking. Okay.
This happened before because I feel like I called it.
Is somebody going to that?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah, probably.
The answer is yes.
Thank you all for coming and watching. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you for coming and playing. You are greatly appreciated. Otherwise, I'd just be sat here for 5 hours picking my nose.
I'm so, bro.
This is why your name is a verb.
I cannot believe.
Hey, none of you saw it coming. Rami'd herself. Maybe.
Stop using your name as a verb.
This week,
Stop
we will go in order of most likely to be caught lacking, starting with Acheron. Who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
First of all, how fucking dare you? Second, hi everyone. I'm the Risa Rave all over the fucking internet. This is what I do. I play this fucking crazy ass game here on Table of Horrors. Obviously on Fridays as Acheron. On Mondays, which we will be starting soon again, I play Morningstar in our Shadowrun game. I'm also part of Lanyap Gaming, where you can find me playing other creatures of the night. You can find all of our VODs and stuff on YouTube to see our past, campaigns and one-shots and whatnot. On top of which, we will soon be coming back with new content. One that you might be seeing a certain someone be a storyteller. So that might be fun. Check it out if you want to. My God, my mind is everywhere right now. How does one outro? Hey, I have links, man. Go check them out.
Be respectful.
Be respectful. Do the damn thing. God damn it, Shiv. How dare? Because it's. I just said the person who's on the I'm so screaming into the fucking abyss. Okay.
I am screaming.
All right.
I am screaming internally right now.
Just for reference, Shadowrun is being aimed to return on the 10th. Softy also has something else he will be debuting soon. Ardala, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
Yes, hello, I am Finita Starlight. I am a variety streamer and RP ho, as you can tell. I'm kind of like everywhere on tabletop RPG stuff. So yeah, I do all kinds of shit. Lately, I've been hyper focused on Diablo 4 and Final Fantasy 16. So
Hey.
yeah, come and hang out. when I'm not playing games, I'm playing other games. So yeah,
Yes.
still chaos always.
Yeah, it's
May she reign.
Finny, you run a great stream. You're really down-to-earth person. You're great to have a chat with. You're great to just hang out with when you're streaming. You've got a fantastic community of people as well that are really welcoming, really friendly people. It's a good time. It is a good time. Speaking of a good time, Slip, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I tend to do things. Hi, I'm Slippery Nosferatu. Or Slippery Nos here on Twitch. I've got my own channel where I stream variety in the middle of the week. But I'm not sick for a month, which I'm not anymore, so I'll be getting back into that.
Yay!
I'm here Mondays. Thank you. I'm here Mondays as a T103, typically. The punchy at work man with the metal arms. I'm here Fridays as Slip of Clan Nosferatu, where, I'm full of bees. That's it. That's basically it. Full of bees and knowledge. Mostly computer stuff. And that's it. That's all I do.
I mean, that's pretty good. And again, another brilliant person to go and watch stream because I can't speak for everyone else, but I love your sense of humor, and I will hang out and watch your streams just because they're fucking hilarious.
Thanks.
Rami, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
Hi, I'm a person. Sometimes. My brain just stopped working for a second. I'm Space. I'm on Twitter and Twitch at SpaceIsDrain. I'm a variety streamer and a frog VTuber. I play a lot of RPGs and Metroidvania and horror. I've been playing a lot of indie games recently. I'm going to be doing Alan Wake and a bunch of other stuff in July for like Oxenfree is coming out. Just a bunch of like horror games or like mystery games that I really like. I'm really excited about it. Also, I will be doing my Twitch anniversary / birthday stream at the end of July. So I will probably announce that when that happens. I'm really excited for my birthday. That's it. Sorry, my brain's not working right now.
Another fun stream.
You Rami'd yourself.
Yeah, and then I'm also here as Rami / Clivey / Gemma. I don't know. I have no idea.
Whoever you are, you just keep on Ramiing. That's what you are.
I keep gaining new names, and
the next game's gonna open up, and Hatfield's just gonna start beating Rami.
That's in front of this poor young woman. Okay.
The next game is going to start. I'm gonna skewer both Rami and this person together.
This young woman is gonna get got first. I'm gonna tell you that right now, and it will be by Acheron. Okay.
This person and beat Rami with her.
No, leave her alone.
Another fun streamer, another friendly community. There's no reason to not go and watch Space. You know? Hatfield, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
Hi, I'm Daybreakathon. You ain't gonna catch me lacking because you'll never catch me at all. Hi, I stream over on my own channel, Daybreakathon. I play whatever I want whenever I can, honestly. Don't ask me what I'm doing because I never know what it is until 3 seconds before I do it. I've written a couple of fantasy novels. You should definitely check those out. I worked very hard on them. Hopefully the third one's gonna come out soon. Working on that. My dog is here to distract me, but it's not time for that yet. No, instead I have to say other things about stuff. Like here and now, at the Vampire Times, you can find me playing Hatfield. That's a fun thing. And then, when Shadowrun happens, you can find me playing Mojave, who's perpetually confused and talks like that. I also do the character art for the characters who have art, and my commissions are open if you'd like me to do some art for you as well. I'm actually doing Art Fight this year, which is gonna be fun. You can find me there as Daybreakathon. And
Are you vampire or werewolf?
I'm a vampire.
All right.
I gotta rep my team.
Yes, the squad.
But yeah, now my dog is squeaking at me that he wants to say hello. So with all that said, my dog says hi.
Hi.
Hello. I don't know if you mentioned it, but also they have books. Go read their books.
Yes, please do the thing.
And another great streamer there's no way to describe Day apart from fuck that's chaotic, and it's great.
Arson. That's all you need to describe Day.
I do ethical crime, thank you.
Yes.
check out the links down below or in chat for links to our Discord, YouTube for archived video content, and also podcast versions of the content. Podcast is actually coming soon when Shiva isn't killing himself over the amount of content he does. And that reminds me, actually, they all think this is a good idea. I'm gonna still ask, does anyone actually want to watch me fucking paint minis? Does anyone want to watch that?
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Because I can just sit here, I can move the camera, and then you'll see these fucking hands trembling, going, I hate you, I hate eyes. Why is it always the eyes?
I'll tell ya, I felt the exact same way before I sat down to do art streams, but the art streams I've done have been some of the most fun I've had streaming. Do it.
I mean, I don't know, I'm not great at painting, but we can hang out and have a chat.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess. Whatever.
We will
Get out of here, shit.
We'll go raiding over on K-Night Chronicles, who are playing that vampire sex game that I've heard so much about. But of course, legally, morally, objectively, we can't go until... Oh, bollocks, it was... I mean, give us a frog fact before we go regardless, anyway.
I don't have a new frog fact.
Mother
Frogs
of
exist, there's your
frog.
fact.
Slip says a line.
So, I was lying, I was gonna give you a frog fact.
Oh, give us a fucking frog fact. Don't frog tease
Right.
us.
So in India, this was like maybe 5 years ago, there were a lot of amphibians are really, really sensitive to chemicals. And so there were a lot of frogs existing that were like being born with several extra limbs or like no limbs at all.
That's how you get gay frogs.
Yeah. Correct. It's in the water.
It's in the water, bruv. That's
Slip.
the gay agenda.
Slip say the line.
Insert sound of Rami getting drop kicked next session.
I will just not show up next session. Don't worry.
Bum, 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 bum.
Just ass beat.
I don't think we're ever going to get a better one than that.